welcome to the Allen Cup on Fundy Cable tonight. The Allen Cup Championship final between the hometown St. John Vitos and the Alberta Club, Stoney Plain Eagles. I'm Andrew Cromwell. In the broadcast booth with me tonight to provide color commentary will be Graham Stillwell. I'll be doing the play-by-play, and Larry will be downstairs as well, providing us with some interviews as the game rolls on. Graham, last night, Stoney Plain, a 5-1 victory over Charlottetown. You said you were surprised at the win. Tonight's game between the Eagles and the Vitos, what do you think is going to happen here? The Vitos have had 3 days off. Is that going to help them or hurt them? And will last night's game against Charlottetown be a bit of a toll against Stoney Plain?
Well, I was surprised that Stoney Plain beat Charlottetown, where they had most of the week off, Charlottetown, that is. And I think that where it is the championship game, Stoney Plain, other than probably some bumps and bruises, will have forgotten about that mentally. Will be able to come out tonight and play a great game against St. John. They played into a 2-1 contest in the round robin, and I think that you're going to see an excellent hockey game. I believe St. John is the favorite, where it is the home crowd, and they're riding about 13 wins in their last 14-game streak. They are the favorite, but I think coaching will be very important. Both teams are going to have to come out and concentrate on their own game rather than worrying too much about the other team. Goaltending will be a factor. Defensive hockey, the team that plays the best defensively, I think, should win.
You've included her all, Graham. And Larry, from a player's standpoint, what do you think the Vitos have to do to win a Canadian Senior Championship tonight?
Andrew, I think, first of all, the Vitos have to come out. They have to hit hard, but they have to stay out of the penalty box. They play good disciplined hockey. Guys like Dwyer back in the lineup, they have to hit, but they have to stay out of the box. Tony Wormel, another one, throw the weight around. If they do that, I think they come out with a win here tonight.
The St. John Vitos and the Stoney Plain Eagles for all the marbles in just a couple of moments. This is the Allen Cup on Fundy Cable, and we'll have more right after this.
For almost a century, there's been a group of people working hard for Canada, fighting for this country. Now they are uniting to keep Canada together. The Royal Canadian Legion supports Canadian unity.
Okay, with me now is head coach of the St. John Vitos, Blair Nicholson. Blair, from the sound of the music going in the background here, your boys are all set.
I think we're ready to roll. We had a couple of days off to get ready, and we looked at both teams. I don't think it really mattered who we played. I think we're ready to win a national championship.
Okay, good. You said you had a couple of days off here. I spoke to Bobby Brown earlier in the week. He said he thought it was great that you had the 3 days to rest. Some people said, well, maybe it won't be so good. What's your opinion?
I think it was good. We kept it pretty low-keyed as far as the practices went. We weren't really pushing the boys too hard. They were out. They were working on their own. I think we put in 7 months of hard work, so I think it's payday tonight.
Okay, you were to last night's game. You saw the two teams play, Charlottetown and Stoney Plain. What were your thoughts on the game from a standpoint of the winner has to meet you guys?
Well, I think Stoney Plain's in our squad. I think we match up real well. They've got real good size, and so do we. Played them earlier in the week, and we beat them 2-1. So I think the people are in for an entertaining night.
Do you think that the 2-1 score means any? Does that make a big of a difference coming into tonight's game? That you beat them earlier in the week, or is basically just down to another hockey game again?
Well, it's not just another game, but it's anything can happen in a one-game series. So, as they say, we're just going to go out and try and take it to them.
Okay, good. Good luck to you. Good. Larry Nicholson, head coach of the St. John Vitos. We'll take a break in Cable 10 when we come back. The national anthem of tonight's Canadian Senior Hockey Championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you give a round of applause to Ingham Palmer?
my pleasure to introduce the two competing teams tonight. We'll start with the visiting Stoney Plain Eagles from just outside Edmonton. Number 31, Blair McGregor. Number 14, Gord Mark. Number 16, Bob Bashusko. Number 37, Neil Eisner. Number 21, Al Karasuk. Number 25 is Kelly Risling. Number 4, Jeff Wildebert. Number 2, Jason Edgar. Number 3, Darwin Bozak. Number 7, Lindsay Hall. 29, Craig Goebel. 12, Dave McDonald. 22, Guy Parody. 15, Kent Monte. Number 8, Len Mark. Number 17, Dave Noyes. Their captain, number 11, Mike Simmel. Number 9, Murray Uchuk. And number 35, Malcolm Burnt. Not dressed for the Eagles tonight, Brian Rimmer, Travis Soltis, Denny Fontaine, and Dale Lees. Their manager is Bill Saunders, and their coach is Brad Schutz. A nice round of applause for the Stoney Plain Eagles. And now, your St. John Vitos, number 72, Dave Matt. Number 2, Scott McKenzie. Number 4, Phil Huckins. Number 52, Dan Stixie LeBlond. Number 8, Mike Dwyer. Number 21, Bobby Kane. Number 22, Claire McPherson. Number 26 is Mike Boyce. Number 3, Eric Bizimat. Number 18, Pat Kluche. Number 77, Michelle Boucher. Number 23, Tony Warmel. From Hatfield's Point, number 11, Ronnie Hatfield. Number 9, Ronnie Cadet Jr. Number 35, Sylvain Maillet. Number 27, Bobby Brown. Number 16, Martin Cuckoo Lafay. The captain, number 24, Todd Stark. Number 37, goaltender Rick Poirier. Not dressed for the Vitos tonight, Paul Hansen, Mike Clark, Wayne Moore, Randy Thomas, Mark Farwell, Danny O'Brien, Dennis Roy, Rocky Robichaud, Jean-Francois Boutin, and I should mention, not dressed, Charlie Bourgeois. The manager, Neil McKenzie, the coaching staff, Claire Nicholson, Dave Wright, Brian Ford, and the trainers, Bob Maloney and Fred Gorman, your St. John Vito. And with the boys, their able assistant, Raymond Walker. Now, my pleasure to call on the chairman of the Allen Cup Tournament, Pat Palmer, and the co-chairman, Carl White, for a special presentation. This presentation, folks, is being made on behalf of you, the fans. It is being made by Pat and Carl to the guys who made it all possible. How about the old standing O for Nick and Peter? Now the two captains to center ice, please. Mike Simmel, Todd Stark, Nick and Peter to drop the puck. I would ask you all to stand once again and join Miss CFBC and Miss St. John, Heather Pollan, for her rendition of Oh Canada.
Oh Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command, car t'embrasser, porter les pays, il s'est porté la croix, ton histoire est une
job once again, as usual. The master of ceremonies tonight, Ingham Palmer, along with Don Mabey, and introducing both teams fully, even the folks that weren't dressed. We are just moments away as we see the folks, the organizing committee, Nick and Peter Georgudis, and the crew head off after a nice opening ceremonies here. This is the Allen Cup Final on Cable 10. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Andrew Cromwell with the play-by-play. In the booth with me tonight, Graham Stillwell with color commentary, and we've also got Larry Somerville downstairs to provide some between-period interviews. And Graham, a capacity crowd tonight. Got to be at least 3,500 fans. And Premier McKenna is here. His Fredericton Canadians knocked out of the playoffs by the Moncton Hawks, and Premier Frank McKenna, a big hockey fan, here to enjoy the Allen Cup today.
A tremendous crowd. The standing room people, I think, started to arrive about an hour and a half before game time to get a great spot on the rail. No surprise, Dave Matt starting in goal for St. John. McGregor starting in goal for Stoney Plain. A bit of a surprise, as they had been alternating their goaltending, but McGregor, with a strong game against Charlottetown last night, will get the nod for Stoney Plain. Again, a huge crowd, the national championship on the line, and we should see a tremendous hockey game.
It's interesting to note the starting lineup for the Vitos. Mike Dwyer back off a 4-game suspension. He's in the starting lineup, and I think that the Vitos will be out to quickly prove that that they mean business tonight. Dwyer and Kane starting for the St. John Vitos, but as we mentioned before we went on air, this Stoney Plain club will not be intimidated.
Well, I think that St. John will play the type of hockey game that they've played all season long and also in the playoffs. It'll be a hard-hitting game. Dwyer in the lineup starting, I think, will be attempting to send a message to the Stoney Plain team that this is the type of game they're going to play. Stony Plain will not back down. They've got some tough guys of their own. They have Risling. They have number 16 is
Bajusko.
I'm sorry, Bajusko, 21 Terazak. These guys can play it tough as well, and you're going to see some heavy hitting early, I believe.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Bajusko and Gord Mark, Al Terazak, Kelly Risling starting for Stoney Plain, Dan LeBlanc, Bobby Kane, Mike Dwyer, Scott McKenzie, and Phil Huckins for the Vitos. And we're getting set. The Allen Cup is underway. Vitos win the draw. McKenzie dumping it into Stoney Plain territory. Mike Dwyer out bumping early for St. John. Out to the side of the net now. Gord Mark in to retrieve it. Dan LeBlanc takes him into the boards hard. Should mention Don Gaudette, the referee-in-chief of tonight's game, a native of Moncton, and Gaudette certainly one of the more respected referees in the province. And another bone-crushing body check there by Dan LeBlanc, who has been very impressive physically in this whole Allen Cup tournament.
Some heavy artillery early, just as we suspected.
Laying on the ice there is number 37, who went for a tumble, hitting another player, Neil Eisner. Maybe a bit stunned there, but he's back on his feet, and some words being exchanged there early in this hockey game, and there's going to be a penalty.
Linesman Tim Peel and Chuck McTagg, two of the better officials, two of the better linesmen, certainly in this province. They're getting an early workout as well. I'm certainly sure they're going to earn their money. We're going to get a look at that.
We'll take a look at that in the Stoney Plain Eagles. McKenzie taking the feet out from underneath Neil Eisner, and he is in the penalty box, so we're going to see an early chance to see the Stoney Plain power play tonight. Out of the power play, number 8, Len Mark, certainly a sniper. Dave McDonald, Jeff Wildeboer out there on defense.
This is one of the things our colleague Larry Somerville mentioned at the start of the game, that St. John was going to have to stay out of the penalty box. Stony Plain didn't have any power play goals against Charlottetown last night, but we'll see how they fare here in the first one tonight.
Face-off just inside the blue line. Vitos win the draw. Todd Stark and Mike Boyce quickly sending it down. The first stop in the game for Blair McGregor.
30 seconds.
Jason Edgar up along the wing, meant for Len Mark, and it goes the length of the ice, and that's going to be icing called against Stoney Plain. One of the Stoney Plain wingers, Len Mark, missing the cue, missing the pass, and the face-off will be down to the right of Blair McGregor.
See, on the first shift of the game, they paid particular attention to the big defenseman number 14, Gord Mark.
Face-off to the right of Blair McGregor, Todd Stark facing off against Len Mark. And again, the Vitos win the face-off. Blair McPherson, a shot from the point. Right on. McGregor had no problem. He could see it all the way, and he made the stop. Out comes Stoney Plain with 1 minute and 30 seconds left in their power play. Penalty assessed to Scott McKenzie, and they're into Vitos territory. Len Mark with Bobby Brown. Penalty killing for the Vitos, and he comes out with the puck, and Dumps it in. Al Parody with the puck now for Stoney Plain. He comes out across center ice. Parody up onto Wildebor's stick. Jeff Wildebor moving in on goal. Moving in behind the net. McPherson can't handle him. Wildebor still with the puck. Goes to the point. Kept in by Parody. Parody into Lenmark. Lenmark in behind the net, and Todd Stark takes his man hard into the boards. Boyce takes Wildebor. A physical game here, and again another stoppage. The net off the moorings.
Again, Stoney Plain going hard to the net as they did last night in the Charlottetown game, causing all kinds of problems for Francois Gravel. That could be something to watch for, too. Dave Matt, not known for his mild demeanor from time to time, and perhaps they're trying to upset Matt with that aggressive play at the front of the net.
And that's funny, speaking with a couple of fans and folks around the hockey world during this tournament, noticing Dave Matt, he's certainly not as aggressive as he was when we saw him with the Campbellton Tigers a few years back in the New Brunswick Senior League when he first broke in out of Newfoundland. He's not as aggressive. You couldn't get in his crease, or you'd leave the game with some bruises on the back of your thighs.
Much the same as when he played with Charlottetown last year.
Face off a scramble just outside of Dave Matt, and Tony Wormel is in there to scoop it out and shoots it down the ice. Vito is successfully killing this penalty. Less than 1 minute left in the Stoney Plain power play. Scott McKenzie in the
Just a reminder, folks.
knocking the feet out of Neil Eisner. That's Bob Bejusko over to Gord Mark. Gord Mark back to Bejusko. He chooses to take it up and goes wide on the wing for Kent Maltese. Can't quite keep a hold of it, and Maltese takes Bissonette into the boards. That's number 11, Mike Zimmel. A big game last night against Charlottetown. He had 2 goals, including the go-ahead goal, to give the Eagles a win over Charlottetown. Eagles not having much success in the power play so far. They haven't been able to keep the passes going, and not successfully, as Mark shoots it in toward the net. Maltese tried to deflect that. Dave Matt was alert to keep it out of the net. Now Zimmel in behind the net. Mike Zimmel still with the puck. Holds onto it, goes wide to Noyes. Noyes can't keep a handle on it. Cloutier in there, he wants to freeze it along the boards. He can't do it, but I think Stoney Plain would like to freeze it as well. Dave Noyes wants it along the boards, and it's whistled dead. And here's a skirmish between Pat Cloutier and Kent Maltese going at it earlier on in the game. They'll be going off to the box as well if they're not off for fighting.
I don't think Don Gaudette will give major penalties here this early in the game. A couple of very important players for both teams. Looks to me like they'll be going for minor penalties, coincidental minors for roughing.
Pat Cloutier, one of the more talented defensemen on this St. John Vito's hockey club, and he certainly is blessed with offensive skills as well. So a couple of coincidental minors here in the first period. We've been going at it here for just over 2 minutes. In fact, there's 17 minutes and 13 seconds left to play in this first period, scoreless in the Allen Cup final between the St. John Vitos and the Stoney Plain Eagles. Ron Gaudette, the Vitos, gets his first shift of the night. He'll be facing off against Lindsey Hall of Stoney Plain. To his right is Jeff Wildebor and Craig Goebel to his left.
Gaudette, one of the late pieces to this puzzle.
Stoney Plain, number 15, Kent Maltese. St. John, number 18, Patrick Cloutier. 2 minutes each, roughing. Time of the penalties, 2 minutes, 47 seconds.
So the McKenzie penalty has expired, and they're back at full strength now. That's Ron Gaudette shooting it down to the left of Blair McGregor in Stoney Plain territory. And out come the Eagles. Wildebor moves in. His shot is knocked wide by McKenzie. Goebel keeps it in for Stoney Plain. Falls down, though, and Huckins takes control for St. John, and there's going to be a penalty. A roughing penalty. Scott McKenzie is going to sit in the box again. Sylvain Maillet's out there, muscling himself around, showing his presence. McKenzie going to go off for roughing. He seems to be hurt as well, down to the right of Dave Matt, very slow in getting to the penalty box. He was crouched over there for a short moment or two. McKenzie's not a happy camper right now, and again, as we mentioned, Larry speaking during our introduction of this hockey game, Graham, the Vitos have got to keep out of the penalty box to be successful.
Well, you want to get a flow to your game, and here's a look at that penalty.
I guess Donnie Gaudette there with the signal, the roughing, and we see Maillet there taking a run at Craig Goebel.
You want to try and get all your lines on the ice as early as possible, as many of the players that you're going to use on the ice. And when you're killing penalties, you have to continue to go with penalty killers, and certain players end up not getting some shifts, and generally they're some of your more talented players, some of your goal scorers. So it's the second power play for Stoney Plain, and they were unsuccessful in their first one. We'll see how they do here as Mike Boyce clears it the length of the ice.
Another power play for the Stoney Plain Eagles. They had a number of them last night. Couldn't really capitalize. The Islanders couldn't capitalize either, and maybe that's part of the reason that the Islanders were on the losing end of the stick last night. And there's a familiar Dave Matt move, puck going into the crowd.
Dave Matt handles that stick very well. We used to see it a lot when he played with Campbellton and Charlottetown. Very good with the stick and get it up over that glass, and he gets a whistle.
A minute and 41 seconds left in the power play. Stoney Plain in to take the face-off against Ron Gaudette is Neil Eisner. And again, the Vitos win that. And here could be a break. Ronnie Hatfield. Out of the net comes Blair McGregor. And a nice play there by Darwin Bozak to come out and stop as Hatfield had an open net. Bozak sliding in. A beautiful defensive play. And here's another penalty. Al Tarasak is going to go in the box. He took Ron Hatfield down. They'll be back at full strength, and the Vitos will have a 35-second power play when theirs has expired.
Ronnie Hatfield with a great burst of speed. Got to the puck before McGregor. Labeled a shot for the open net. The number 3 Bozak made a diving stop to keep the game at no score.
Well, Blair McGregor chose to come out and challenge Hatfield, and he obviously misjudged Hatfield's speed and where Hatfield was on the ice. We're going to see how it all happens right here now. A nice play by Darwin Bozak. The puck go down, and here's Hatfield coming down, and watch McGregor. Wide open net, and Hatfield would have scored a goal if it hadn't been for Bozak.
Great effort by Bozak.
So Darwin Bozak, 2 minutes for interference, and we're at even strength once again. LeBlanc taking Bajutko in, and he comes out with the puck. Here's Stark, a shot, that's wide. Kept in by Boyce. Now Lindsey Hall comes out for Stoney Plain. Puts it up for Len Mark. Len Mark comes in across the blue line. Puts a move on McPherson. McPherson stays with his man, and Mark still with the puck. Back to the point. Here's a shot. That hit a stick and trickles slowly to Dave Matt. We've played 4 minutes and 22 seconds here at the Allen Cup Championship Final between the St. John Vitos and the Stoney Plain Eagles. We're still scoreless, and again, there's a patented Eagles. Most of the players standing up, Graham, by their bench.
That is something we mentioned in the game last night. Warroad and Stoney Plain, both standing the entire game, both teams. It is unusual, but seem to think they'd want to save their legs a little bit, but it doesn't seem to bother them. They are in the final.
Wildeboer facing off against Todd Stark. Stark's been waved out, and Dan LeBlanc stepping in. Eagles win this face-off. LeBlanc stays with the puck, but Bajutko keeps it in for Stoney Plain. Bajutko being tied up by Huckins. They don't clear the zone, though. The Vitos don't clear the zone, but now they do. Bissonette up for Huckins, who goes across ice to Todd Stark. Todd Stark is in. Puts it across ice for Bissonette. Scramble over to the right of McGregor here. It's Todd Stark with the puck. McGregor and Huckins are going at it. McGregor, I should say, Bajutko and Huckins are going at it. And here's Todd Stark again. A shot from far out, and that's wide to the left of Blair McGregor. Vito's applying a bit of pressure here. 18 seconds left in the Vito's penalty. Then they'll be on a power play. Out comes Stoney Plain. A pass miscuing there, and the Vitos shoot it back into neutral zone. Bajutko, a very physical defenseman to say the least, who was having some words and a bit of a scuffle there with Phil Huckins to the right of goaltender Blair McGregor. And here comes Stoney Plain, a shot by Mark. Hit the skate of McPherson. McPherson brings it out of his own zone. Martin Lefebvre just missed on that pass, and that trickles down to the other end of the ice for an icing call.
Gord Mark again logging quite a bit of ice time here in the early going. He certainly had to be on the ice for 40 minutes in the game against Charlottetown last night, which is very similar to the amount of ice time he was getting in the other games in the tournament. Certainly they're a big man on the blue line.
There's Rick Poirier, the Vitos, who certainly can move into a starting role as much as Dave Matt can. That's something that the Vitos have been blessed with. There's two outstanding goaltenders, Poirier playing earlier on in the tournament, and he was outstanding when he played. Matt, as we spoke of earlier, has been hampered by a leg injury basically all year. and certainly doing a good job to play as well as he has.
Yeah, he receives treatment on that knee prior to each game, and although it's sore, Dave Matt is a great goaltender. He has 2 Allen Cups and a Hardy Cup to his credit, and he's the money guy, and I don't think there was any question that he'd start in goal for the Vitos tonight.
Not at all. You had to expect that, and Rick Poirier as well, sitting the bench. A lot of Vitos. Some of them didn't dress. A lot of St. John boys, Farwell and Danny O'Brien, just because of numbers. The numbers game weren't able to dress tonight for St. John. Mike Clark. Lindsey Hall clears it down the ice for Stoney Plain. 10 seconds left in the Vitos power play. Not much happening there. No shots on goal. Lefebvre over for Boucher. Back on the stick of Mike Boyce. Mike Boyce goes up for Lefebvre. In across center ice, and Lefebvre dumps it in. Bobby Brown is down there. He's taken into the boards by a Stoney Plain Eagle, and behind the net, no Martin Lefebvre. Kept in by Kluche. Here's a shot on goal. McGregor with the save, a scramble, and Stoney Plain comes up with the puck. In the midst of a line change here, the Eagles in neutral zone dump it down into St. John Vitos territory. Not a whole lot of scoring opportunities here in the first period, Graham. Of course, the best opportunity coming from Ronnie Hatfield on that heads-up play, and he beat out Blair McGregor. And I think it's safe to say that the puck was on course to go into the net. If it hadn't been for Bozak skating and stopping it with a stick on a diving play.
The best scoring chance for either team was that one by Hatfield, and they seem to be going through a bit of a feeling out process here. Each team's had a power play. Stoney Plains had an entire power play and most of a second, and St. John had a brief 35-second power play, but that can upset the flow of the game a little bit as well. But I think once this game gets going a little further, you're going to see some good end-to-end action.
Interesting to note earlier on in the tournament, the Vitos beating Stoney Plain 2-1, and the first goal of the game in that hockey contest wasn't until through the second period, and that goal held up until halfway through at least, and even more into the third period against these two clubs. So there hasn't been a lot of goals scored as the offside is called. Ron Gaudette was bursting in on McGregor there, but nothing doing there offside.
Hatfield tried to get back onside, was just a little bit late.
The Vitos fans watching on intently. Again, a packed house here at the LBR. I got here just about an hour and a half before gate time, and they were lined up on the rail at that point. Vitos dumping it in. In behind the net is McGregor to field it. A nice body check there by 23 Warmel. Eagles having problems in their own zone. Vitos applying the pressure early. Hatfield in, now Ron Gaudette with the puck. In behind the net, puts it out front. A shot. McGregor comes up with a save, and the Eagles shoot it off the glass and back into their territory again. Heads up play there, Graham, by Blair McGregor. Now Ron Hatfield comes in. He goes over for Gaudette. He is checked by Maltese. Gaudette in the corner. Is checked by Parody. Dangerous play there as the Eagles decided to change hands on the puck in front of Blair McGregor. Luckily, there were no Vitos around the area.
Vito's exerting a little pressure. Stoney Plain just iced the puck, get some fresh troops out there. McGregor made a nice save. I'm not sure who the Vito player was that laid it on the net, but he made a nice save. And the Vito seem to be putting some pressure on Stoney Plain here with the boat.
We're going to see here the save by Blair McGregor right here in the corner as Gaudette and Hatfield goes in. Gaudette comes out, and we'll see it right here. Ron Hatfield again.
That's Ronnie's second good chance to score.
12:48 left in the first period. We're still scoreless in this Allen Cup final between the St. John Vitos and Stoney Plain Eagles. Again, the Vitos win the face-off. Kane. Gord Mark puts it in. Eisner is there. Takes LeBlanc into the boards. Mark clears it around. Kept in, though, by the Vitos, and no, it trickles out. We get back in, and out comes Stoney Plain. Neither team really getting into a flow here in the early going of this hockey game. There have been some early penalties, and, of course, as we mentioned before, that could be the reason for it. Bobby Kane now. Flips it out in the center ice, and out of the net comes Blair McGregor. And this time, he chooses to cover up. Dan LeBlanc was in there quick.
A little bit better jump by McGregor that time, and he got to the puck before LeBlanc and took the face-off.
There's an important player for the St. John Vitos, and we just saw there, number 21, Bobby Kane. He is used at times and quite often as an enforcer, but St. John hockey fans know he certainly has a scoring touch. He softens the puck. He's got a good shot and a definite value to this hockey team.
Bobby Kane, a coach's dream. He goes up and down his wing. He plays it tough. And in the first game of the tournament against Charlottetown, a 5-4 win, Bobby had 2 goals and was player of the game.
Eagles with the puck. In across the blue line, up along the wing for Risling. Risling is tied up by Boyce. And that is whistled dead. An icing call against the Eagles. Once again, I was going to say I noticed these Western hockey clubs, Graham, is that they're not afraid to ice the puck at all. I noticed the teams from Eastern Canada, the Vitos and Charlottetown, they're a bit more hesitant to ice the puck. But I noticed War Road and Stoney Plain, if they get in trouble, they don't think twice, and they just fire the puck down to the other end.
Well, it's a good way to get out of trouble. You don't like to certainly have a lot of face-offs in your own end, especially in the latter stages of a game, but it's a good way to relieve pressure, and it can be a good defensive tactic.
Glenn Mark facing off against Todd Stark. With Fave in there quickly, and Edgar has the puck now for Stoney Plain. Jason Edgar puts it in behind the net. Up along for Dave McDonald, puts it into the center ice area. Wildeboer couldn't connect on that. Puck back into the left of Dave, Matt, and Bissonette clears it out. Edgar up for Dave McDonald. Offside waved off shot. Matt had no problem with that, but it was whistled dead.
Offside at the blue line. It looked like a 2-line pass, but I guess the Stoney Plain player was over his own blue line when he made that long pass, but it turned out to be offside at the Vito's blue line.
The Eagles have a very large defense, very comparable to the St. John Vitos here. They've got guys like you see there on the ice. Edgar, who's very sizey. Gord Mark is 6 feet 4 inches tall. They've got a very strong, competent defense and very mobile as well.
I think that was one of the reasons they were so successful against Charlottetown last night, is that there was very little standing around. They have the size to look after a guy like Dave Cameron in front of that net, and little Carragher and some of the smaller Charlottetown forwards didn't have much luck in front of their net last night.
Puck in behind the Vitos net. Cloutier clears it around the boards. Can't get it out there. Here's a shot. Matt directing that over to his left, and Lefebvre will send it out for St. John, up for Todd Stark. A 2-on-2, Stark and Brown is in there. Todd Stark in on net. He puts it out front. Cloutier moving in on net, pinching in, almost connecting, not quite. Puck off the moorings, no goal. 11:09 left in the first period.
Todd Stark held that puck just long enough to allow Cloutier to jump up into the play. Todd's got that ability to just hold that puck. We'll have another look at that. You see Todd hold that puck that extra second to allow Cloutier to jump into the play.
Cloutier likes to pinch in, and the Vitos defense probably do that better than anyone in the country. They pinch in very successfully, and they've got a lot of speed on defense, which that allows them to do that. We're going to see it another angle right here. Cloutier just missing, and he was being tied up by Stoney Plain as well. Eagles coming up with the puck now and across center ice. Bozak dumps it in. Noyes is rammed into the boards by Phil Huckins into the Vito zone. McKenzie. Scott McKenzie shoots it around his own net. He's checked by Noyes. Warmel takes his man into the boards. Another very physical game here at the LBR, as earlier in the week the St. John Vitos have a chance. Here's Hatfield again. Couldn't connect on his passing partner there. Number 77, Michel Boucher. Now Matt handling it into the corner. There's a shot from the point. Matt again directing it. Out comes Hatfield again for St. John. Ron Hatfield having a strong first period. Having a strong first period is Ronnie Hatfield, and out comes Stoney Plain across center ice. Maltese with the puck. Back for Noyes. Couldn't get it past McPherson, and out come the Vitos. McPherson up for Boucher. Boucher, Michel Boucher in. McPherson fanned on the shot. Just missing on the pass. Puck in behind him, Blair McGregor, and the Eagles come out with it. Gord Mark sends it up into the center ice area for Maltese. A long shot from far out. No problem for Dave Matt. We are past the halfway marker in the first period. The Vitos and Stoney Plain are scoreless in this Allen Cup final.
Dave Matt hasn't had to do anything of the sensational variety, but he's been very steady. A couple of shots a minute ago that came through a maze, and he's been very sharp.
Maillet chasing his man in behind the net, pressuring it, and the puck comes into the neutral zone, sent back in by Cloutier. Bajusko goes up looking for Risling at the center ice area. Risling couldn't get there, and that's called on the icing.
St. John seems to be taking it to Stoney Plain a little bit in the last 4 or 5 minutes. They've gone to the net hard a couple of times, and I think Hatfield had another good chance there a minute ago, and that's 3 good chances for Ronnie Hatfield. He's playing a good game. Ronnie sometimes not as disciplined as he could be defensively, but he certainly is a threat with the puck in the other team's end.
As the Vito showed against Warroad, Minnesota earlier in the week, they do have explosive scoring power, and they can score goals in a flurry. Again, Ron Gaudette is waved out of the face-off circle in place of Todd Stark now. Todd Stark stepping in against Eisner. Gaudette, a couple of times this period, has been kicked out of the face-off circle. And the puck trickling into the neutral zone. Here comes Stoney Plain. A shot. Matt with the save. Tarasak with that shot. Now Maye in the corner. Eisner out front for Risling. Nice play there by Cloutier. He blocked Risling's shot, and out comes St. John. Todd Stark across the blue line. Tied up by Gordmark. And out comes Stoney Plain. Tarasak. Into the Vito's territory. A shot. High and wide over the shoulder of Dave Matt. Eagles. Bajushko keeps it in. In behind for Tarasak. Bissonette. Here's a chance out front for Eisner. Right on Dave Matt. Another shot. Doesn't get through another one. And Dave Matt makes another nice save. Neil Eisner all by himself in front of Dave Matt, and Matt stoned him.
Dave Matt, there's the Dave Matt we've come to dislike when he played with other teams, and to really like for the St. John Vitos. 2 or 3 outstanding saves we'll see right in front of the net.
Eisner is left all by himself out front here. Watch this.
St. John defense seemed to get crossed up a little bit.
We'll get another one more angle again at how this happened. And here's Stark. They can't clear the zone.
Both defensemen end up behind the net. Puck squirts out all kinds of time, but Matt outweighted him and made a great save.
They had 4 opportunities there to put the puck in the net and couldn't do it. Face off now to the right of Dave Matt, and Bobby Kane wins it. Eagles, though, keep it in. Another shot, and Dave Matt was sharp again, making a blocker and trapper save. A bit of a scramble out in front of the net. But it doesn't look like the Eagles want anything to do with it.
No, that line of Tarasak, Bazushko, and Eisner were an excellent line last night against Charlottetown. They were a really effective line in the 10-9 victory over Warroad. And they seemed to control the boards when they're out there, and that led to a couple of good chances on the last shift.
Going to see a penalty here. Lindsey Hall will sit off for 2 minutes, along with Mike Dwyer. So coincidental minors here called by referee Don Gaudette. 8:37 left in the first period. A glorious opportunity there for Neil Eisner on Dave Matt, and Matt stopped Eisner, stoned him. And 4 opportunities there's actually, and as we get set for the face-off, just outside of the Vito's territory. Back to McKenzie. Across ice to Hucken. Here are the penalties.
2 minutes roughing. St. John number 8, Mike Dwyer. 2 minutes high sticking. Time of the penalty, 11 minutes, 23 seconds. Can't hear that.
So coincidental minors, and out comes Len Mark of Stoney Plain. He is taken care of by a couple of Vitos. Bobby Kane now with the puck. Puts it up for Warmel. Here's a chance for Warmel. And an interesting play there by the Stoney Eagles defenseman, putting the puck, pushing the puck into Blair McGregor with a man right on top of him.
I've seen them do that earlier in the tournament. You certainly see that play a lot in soccer, where the goaltender comes into play a lot more, and it's surprising that you don't see that more in hockey with the way goaltenders handle the puck these days. But the Stoney Plain defender was under pressure, and we'll have a look at that, and we'll see that he rolled it back to the goaltender, who was ready for the play right there. A smart play by the number 9 of Stoney Plain, Uchuk.
And to say the least, though, Graham, a risky play. You have to say that. I mean, especially with a player like Warmel, who can put the puck in the net right on top of his man.
Risky for sure.
But I guess you have to take risks in this hockey game. We're in a Canadian championship here, and it's a one game, says it all. Winner of this game will go home with the Allen Cup that has been posted here at the LBR all week at the souvenir counter, and a beautiful, beautiful piece of metal it is.
Certainly a lot of history with that trophy. The winner of the Allen Cup traditionally represented Canada in the Olympics and World Championships up until, I believe, the late 50s, early 60s. Teams like the Whitby Dunlops, the Trail Smoke Eaters, who certainly had a lot of success in international competition before the Russians learned how to play this great game.
Here's a shot from McPherson. Far out, goes in behind the net. Wildeboer. Lefebvre in there. Now Wildeboer with the puck puts it up along the boards. Miller and the Vitos keep it in. Can't get it out. Dave McDonald back in to help out, and now Jason Edgar comes out for Stoney Plain. Up along the wing, and the Eagles come out across center ice. Dumping it in is Jeff Wildeboer, in behind the net. Forechecking is Dave McDonald. He tries to get it out front, goes in on top of the net, and the Vitos clear the zone. Stark across center ice into the blue line. Across the line, Todd Stark, right out front! And Lefebvre couldn't trigger on that one. A nice play there by Stark, and Lefebvre with the puck out front again. Puck out front. McGregor is down, and I believe he has it.
Todd Stark having another excellent shift, a feathery pass through the middle to, we're going to have a look at that.
Dandy play there by Stark. An outstanding play by Todd Stark, and here's Lefebvre and the resulting pileup. 3 Vitos in there, 3 Eagles, and Blair McGregor.
Certainly want a guy like Todd Stark to come to the fore in a game like this. He has an Allen Cup championship to his credit. We'll get another look at that pileup.
Nice play here by Martin Lefebvre. Puts it out front. Eagles couldn't clear it. And when that happened, there were 3 Vitos right in on top. Here's Hatfield falling, puts the puck toward the net, and McGregor covers up. We've got 7 minutes and 19 seconds left in this first period, folks. It's a scoreless tie between the Vitos, Stoney Plain, Alberta, in this Allen Cup. Andrew Cromwell with Graham Stillwell in the broadcast booth tonight. Go downstairs right now. Larry Somerville standing by with an interview. Larry?
With me is Jamie Kennedy, the former head coach of the St. John Vitos. Jamie, you're back in town for the Allen Cup playoffs. You've been over in the Island for 2 years now, but you tell me your heart's still with the Vitos.
Larry, Nick and Peter have always been really good with me, and always enjoyed their hospitality and friendship. And I'm wanting to see the Vitos win this game tonight. It'd be nice to see come to the Maritimes again, and it makes hockey a lot better in this region.
Jamie, one last question before I let you get back to the game. You've been out of St. John for 2 years now. What have you been doing to occupy your winters?
Well, Larry, I've been refereeing the last couple of years. I've worked with the government, and I do quite a bit of refereeing. I did the last Vito game in Charlottetown there with the Islanders, and they have a very good hockey team. I think you're going to see them win the Allen Cup this year.
Good. Welcome back to St. John, and we hope you enjoy your stay. Jamie Kennedy, the former head coach of the St. John Vitos.
Good to see Jamie back with the Vitos in St. John, enjoying some hockey action. He was certainly a favorite coach here in St. John, colorful to say the least. Now Boucher across center ice for St. John. 6 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first period. Boucher was tied up by a Stoney Plain player, number 21, Al Tarasak. And Michel Boucher certainly has to be one of the spark plugs in St. John this year. He's got as much speed as anybody I've seen.
Michel Boucher is an excellent hockey player. I discussed with some of the hot stovers up around the old city market earlier this year about the fact that Boucher may score more goals as a winger with the right centerman, but he's an excellent penalty killer. He's good on the draws, and the Vitos have used him at center all year. I'd like to see him play the wing sometime, though, and see how he would make out as a goal scorer.
Bezusko tied up by LeBlanc, and the puck now to Huckins, over for Maillet, up for Kane now. Bob Kane. Sylvain Maillet, a shot. That hit a player. There's a penalty coming up here. Don Gannett issuing another penalty here in the first period.
Looks like it's going to go to Stoney Plain for upending Bob Kane at the blue line.
A tripping penalty to Stoney Plain, and the Vitos will have a 2-minute power play.
Bobby Kane seems to be favoring one of his knees. He's had a bit of a history of knee trouble, and the way he was taken down, he seems to be favoring. Let's have another look at that.
We'll watch Kane be upended by Bob Bezusko right here, and he was, to say the least, taken out by Bezusko.
Look to have that right skate planted and caught an edge, and we'll keep an eye on that and see if Bob takes a regular shift.
The Vitos win the draw.
Number 16, Bob Bezusko. 2 minutes, tripping. Time of the penalty, 14 minutes, 1 second.
So a 2-minute tripping penalty for Bob Bezusko. The Vitos in the power play. In behind the net, Huckins up on the wing to Stark. Stark up on the wing to Lefebvre now. Martin Lefebvre in on goal, a shot! McGregor with the save, and behind the net now is Stark. Todd Stark back on the point for Huckins, a shot. A save by McGregor, kept in by Boyce. Boyce keeps it in. Now Lefebvre puts it out front. There's no one there, and Edgar will try to clear it out. And the puck goes into neutral ground. Boyce over to Huckins, and Huckins dumping it in. Right there is Martin Lefebvre, though. Forechecking well for St. John. 5 minutes left, a minute left in the Vito's power play. Huckins up along the ice for Boyce. Boyce dumps it into the corner. Bobby Brown is there to chase it, and Uchuk shoots it around the ice. Eagles clear the zone. Eagles changing lines here. Up along the wing from Brown. He turns and drives it in. That's going to be called an icing. Brown just to the left of the center ice line, and I don't think he was too happy with that icing call.
Well, the linesman will generally give you that one that's maybe a foot to 18 inches on your own side of center. But Bobby Brown had lots of time to get over the line and dump it in. I think that's probably why the linesman called it.
45 seconds left in the Vito's power play. Bob Bajusko is assessed a 2-minute tripping penalty for taking out Bobby Kane. Vitos will try to score here if they can. 4 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first period. We're still scoreless. Now Boucher comes flying out down the left wing across center ice. Michel Boucher in on goal. Boucher puts it back for McPherson. In behind the net now, the Vitos. Warmel moving out in front. Over for Boucher. The point for Cloutier. Wrist shot. Save McGregor. Kept in by the Vitos. Boucher is in there. He's tied up by two Stoney Plain teams, and they succeed in freezing the puck to the left of the goaltender.
Pat Cloutier got the puck on the net. Very important not to wind up to take that big slap shot, but just to lay it on the net. Never a bad play to direct that puck at the net, and Cloutier did get a good low shot in there.
Ask you to stay tuned. After our first period during the first intermission, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a history of the St. John Vitos and what brought them to this Canadian Senior Hockey Championship, something that the St. John hockey fans have been waiting for almost 20 years now. The 1973 St. John Mooseheads. I'm sure, Graham, you remember them.
I was out of town that year and didn't get a chance to see their march to the national championship, so I'm especially interested in this one.
And over to the right of McGregor, back to the point. Shot by McKenzie, saved McGregor, and the Eagles clear the ice. Penalty has expired, and the teams are back at full strength. An icing call against Stoney Plain. A couple of scoring opportunities for both teams. The best, I think, probably coming from the Stoney Plain Eagles when Neil Eisner left all out in front of the St. John net all by himself. And Dave Matt, an outstanding stand-up goaltending job against Eisner. The defense slipping up there just a bit, and Eisner was left by himself with 4 good opportunities for the Stoney Plain Eagles.
Good to see, sorry, Andrew, good to see Dave Matt get a good test fairly early in the game. Sometimes a goalie can stand and get quite cold.
And McPherson a shot. That one goes wide, kept in by Boyce. Boyce keeps the puck in. Over out in front for Hatfield, hit a stick, and goes into the crowd. Ronnie Hatfield has certainly been noticeable out there today in this first period of play.
Ronnie Hatfield has been had three good chances to score. Was robbed by Bozak, the defenseman, on a diving play early in the game. Had another good shot, and two other good shots after that. And he seems to have his offensive hands on tonight.
That line there of Ron Gaudette and Ron Hatfield. Maillet, tough Sylvain Maillet on the wing. He scored a pretty goal the other night against War Road. Ronnie Gaudette set him up very nicely, and just a super goal and one of the prettiest of the tournament.
Ronnie Gaudette certainly made a great play on that defenseman, turned him inside out, and then laid it over to Sylvain, who had the wide open net. Sylvain seems to enjoy scoring goals, although he doesn't get that many. He seemed to enjoy that one.
He doesn't get to score too many goals, and he's not on the hockey team, I guess, for that purpose, but he's certainly liked by the fans here in St. John, and a shot from Boyce from the point right on. Blair McGregor makes a stop. Ronnie Hatfield right in the midst of trouble there, and his friend Maillet in to help out.
An unusually high shot by Boyce. Boyce usually has that daisy cutter about an inch off the ice that he scored a lot of goals with earlier this year. He doesn't usually shoot the puck that high. It's usually right down.
Vito's blessed with some good defensive shooters on the team this year. The likes of Boyce, as you mentioned. Phil Huckins has a consistently low shot along the ice, which basically are the hardest to see and the hardest to stop.
That's right. Generally, a puck on the ice or an inch or two off the ice, if it's on the net, you're almost guaranteed a rebound, whereas if it's up knee-high or higher, generally the goalie is going to handle it with the blocker or the trapper and steer it either way or freeze it.
What do you think, Graham, along the rail here? Are they 2 or 3 deep tonight?
Well, you know, I can remember as managing this team in the mid 80s. We had a couple of crowds like this. One year we played Riverview in the finals one year, and we had a couple of good crowds like this, but you certainly don't see it that often.
Crowd getting into it now, chanting "Go, Vitos, go," with 3 minutes and about 15 seconds left in the first period. We're still scoreless between the Stoney Plain Eagles of Alberta and the Vitos, and out comes Stoney Plain. The head-manning pass meant for Maltese. Couldn't quite handle it. And it's called once again
icing.
On the icing. A lot of icing calls in this first period. Again, these Western teams, I noticed, not afraid to ice the puck at all. Obviously confident in their hockey club, in their defense, and in their goaltender to handle a face-off in their zone.
I see probably half the icings in the first period have been to relieve pressure, and half of them have probably been a miss of a long pass. So either way, it's early in the game. It's not that crucial to have too many face-offs in your own end, although you don't want it to go on all night.
So Mike Zimmel facing off here against Danny LeBlanc. The Vitos win the face-off. Off the draw, Cloutier will keep it in. Tries and it hits the Stoney Plain Eagle, David Noyes, and out comes Stoney Plain. Zimmel. He's tied up by two players, and out comes St. John Bissonnette. Shoots it down the ice and in behind the net. 2 minutes and 54 seconds left in the first period. A scoreless tie as the Vitos keep it in. Edgar in behind the net, puts it over. Kane retrieves it for St. John. Bobby Kane puts it around, and Edgar comes out again for Stoney Plain. Maltese is checked. Vito's trying to keep it in. They do. Dan LeBlanc puts it over in the corner. Kept in, puts it out front, and the Eagles break up the play. I think as far as pressure goes, the Vitos with more pressure in the first period, but again, as we said earlier, the Eagles with the best scoring chance. And out come the Eagles. That's Uchuk. Up for Wildeboer. Wildeboer in to the corner. Dave McDonald is there for Stoney Plain. Mark tries to keep it in, fails to do so, and it goes back to center ice, and the Eagles dump it in once again. Bill Huckins behind his own net. Wildeboer in there forechecking. Puts it around for Lefebvre. Lefebvre off to Mark. Kept in. They score! I think that shot might have been deflected and hit somebody, but nonetheless, a clearing attempt failed by St. John's Martin Lefebvre, and Len Mark of the Stoney Plain Eagles has capitalized.
See Martin Lefebvre make the cardinal sin, try to make that cross-ice pass inside his own blue line. And that shot beat Dave Matt low to the stick side. Toughest spot for a goaltender, but I think Martin Lefebvre would like to have that one back.
We're going to see another angle here as we hear the goal scorer.
Shot seemed to change direction, but number 10 was
Stoney Plain, Len Mark, unassisted, was 18:09.
was given credit for the goal. Number 8, I'm sorry, Len Mark.
Len Mark breaking up that pass from Martin Lefebvre, keeping it in, and a slap shot that beat Dave Matt. The Stoney Plain Eagles from Alberta have a 1-0 lead as the first period draws to a close. 1 minute and 24 seconds there. A big body check there by Dave McDonald on McKenzie, and certainly that goal seems to have sparked Stoney Plain. McKenzie with the puck now for the Vitos. Shoots it in around the boards. Wildeboer keeps it in, though. Brown not seeing the pass coming around, and a good check there by Huckins to give the Vitos control again. Here's a cross-ice pass for Bobby Brown. Can't seem to play it off the boards. Mark in for Stoney Plain. Final minute of the play in the first period. Vitos play is whistle dead there. We'll have to put some pressure on, hopefully, to end this first period on a positive note. Otherwise, the Stoney Plain Eagles will go to the dressing room as a happy crew.
Well, certainly Martin Lefebvre has played great hockey for St. John this year and all through the playoffs. Saw Fulton make the same error last night with Stoney Plain. Tried to, although he did get it high and the player had to knock it down with his glove, but you've got to make that safe play off the boards when you're isolated over there as Lefebvre was.
So Gord Mark comes across center ice now for the Eagles, dumps it in. Kept in by Stoney Plain. Mark, a heads-up play there. In around the net, McPherson. Now Boucher retrieves it and dumps it out. Into the Stoney Plain, into the ice, over for Risling. Kelly Risling. Up to center ice for Tarasak. He's brought down by Mike Boyce, and it's whistled on the offside.
That certainly quieted this huge crowd, that one goal, but fortunately it is close to the end of the period. Blair Nicholson can get his troops in and hopefully have them regroup and come back out with a strong second period. They played a good period. That was probably the only mistake they really made, other than early in the game, 2 defensemen getting caught behind the net, which resulted in a good Stoney Plain chance. But there's a lot of hockey left. 1 goal is certainly not going to stand up, and
Stoney Plain, of course, scoring the first goal, and Len Mark scored the goal, actually, in their game earlier on in the round-robin portion of the tournament. And, of course, as we know, the Vitos came back to win. 20 seconds left in the first period. Len Mark's marker at 18:09 has put Stoney Plain ahead by 1. Blair McPherson up for Boucher. Boucher dumps it in. Behind the net, Blair McGregor. Tony Wormel forechecking and runs into Bajushko. Less than 10 seconds left now in the first period. Another good check by Wormel. Last chance for St. John, and can't capitalize. Stoney Plain clears the zone. The first period comes to the close in this Allen Cup with the Stoney Plain Alberta Eagles with a 1-0 lead. Here are the shots. 15 shots for Stoney Plain and 14 for St. John. So, of course, a close period as far as that goes, shots on goal-wise. The first period is over. Len Mark at 18:09, an unassisted goal beating Dave Matt. Stoney Plain has a 1-0 lead over the St. John Vitos. We're coming back on Cable 10, and after this break, we'll have a team history of the hometown St. John Vitos. Back in 1973, when a St. John senior hockey team last tasted the sweetness of a national championship. The St. John Mooseheads captured the hearts of St. John hockey fans back then, and the St. John Vitos are on the verge of bringing that distinction to the Port City in 1992. The Vitos are owned by Nick and Peter Georgudis and have been in existence since the 1983-84 season. Their closest brush with national glory came back in 88-89 when they beat the Fredericton Alpines in 7 games for the provincial championship. Their trek towards the Hardy Cup that year came to a halt shortly afterward when they lost in the Maritime final to the Dartmouth Moosehead Mounties. Jamie Kennedy coached the Vitos that year, and a number of the Vitos that year remained involved at certain levels this year. Blair Nicholson and Dave Wright, who were players that year, are part of the Vitos coaching staff now. Blair is the Vitos head coach, Dave, one of the assistant coaches. Mark Farwell, Bobby Kane, Wayne Moore, and Mike Clark are still part of the club this year as players. Other local talent this year on the Vitos include Danny O'Brien, Paul Hansen, Mike Dwyer, and Ron Hatfield. Ontario native Captain Todd Stark has made St. John his home as well. With the resurgence of AHL hockey and the subsequent demise of senior hockey in the capital city of Fredericton, the Vitos took advantage of the talent pool in that city. Randy Thomas, Blair McPherson, Scott McKenzie, Bob Brown, and Phil Huckins all toiled for many years in the capital city. The Vitos have a definite francophone connection this year as well, with the likes of forwards Dan LeBlond and Martin Lefebvre, while Pat Cloutier and Eric Bissonnette complement the Vitos defense. Mayor Mashir, Tony Wormel, Ron Gaudette, and Sylvain Maillet helped to complete the front line, while steady Mike Boyce and former pro Charlie Bourgeois, if only for a little while, rounded out the defense of the St. John Vitos. In goal, Dave Matt and Rick Poirier providing a competent and reliable tandem all year that kept the Vitos in the games on more than one occasion. So, all in all, the management and coaching staff have built the St. John Vitos into a well-oiled hockey machine this year. That machine has won them the Maritime Senior Hockey title, but only one thing will most likely satisfy the Vitos this season, and that is the Allen Cup.
With me is Todd Stark, the captain of the St. John Vitos. Todd, you've been on 2 Allen Cup championship teams. Going into tonight's game, you have more experience than anybody in the dressing room. What will you be telling them for going into tonight's game?
Actually, I have one other guy in our team that's won 2 Allen Cups as well, Dave Maddenette. He won last year. It's been a couple years since I've won. Certainly, it's a feeling that you carry with you for many years afterwards. Our team right now, we've got a lot of new young faces that we've added since last year, and these guys are full of energy. And if anything, I think our only concern is that they may get too wound up for tonight's game. Basically, it's just another hockey game. Game in, game out for the last 2 months. We've been winning hockey games, so we've got to go out there and approach it just like any other hockey game and not get too excited about the prospect of winning a national championship, because sometimes, maybe nerves will set in, you'll come out of the gate and you won't play hockey up to your complete ability because you'll be too over-anxious. So, we'll try and get the younger fellas settled down. Certainly the older guys, generally they have a bit more experience and they won't have to worry about that kind of thing. I don't know. There's a really positive feeling in the dressing room right now. Most of the guys are here 2.5 hours before game time, doing whatever they had to do personally to get ready for the game. So, I think it's something that each man has to do himself to get ready for the hockey game, and I may try and add a little bit of advice if I can, but you learn from your mistakes, and certainly we don't want to make too many tonight because it is a one-shot deal, and we can't come up short tonight.
Todd, I've been involved in junior and senior for quite a few years now. I've never seen a team like this year's Vitos as far as the players all getting along great. It seems to be great chemistry. That has to play a big part in the success of the team.
No question about it. I think any championship team you'll see that because it is a team game. It's not an individual game, and there's no doubt about it. The sum of the parts is greater than each individual part. So all the players, we've spent the past 7 months working towards this goal, and we're at the rink 4 times a week together, spending a lot of time together. Just like anyone's life, there's ups and downs. Some of the guys may have personal problems away from the hockey rink, and you're right, this team's got a lot of chemistry. We've been pulling together through some personal tragedies lately, and on the ice, you have no fear that if something happens out there to your teammate, that the other teammate's going to be there to back you up, and I think that's what it takes to win hockey games, and certainly we've proved that up to this point, and tonight's game's going to be no different. Certainly we're stressing the team aspect of this game. We're going to go out there, and 19 guys are going to do it all for themselves, but more importantly for the team and for our owners.
Todd, one last question before you go into the dressing room. Earlier in the week you played Stoney Plains. You beat them 2-1, but it was a tight checking game. What type of style do you expect to go and play tonight in order to knock off the Plains?
No question about it. It was a tight checking game, that first win. After that game, when I got a chance to do an interview then, I had said that I wouldn't be surprised at all if we met that team again in the final, and sure enough, those words came true. They've got everything it takes to be a winner as well. They've got the same combination that we do as far as having some big, strong guys that can take the body and some small guys that can wheel and score. And really, I haven't seen enough of the goaltending to make a comment there. Certainly, they played in a couple of defensive struggles, so they are a tight checking team, and we're going to have our hands full, but it's interesting. Maybe the first 10 minutes may tell what's going to happen tonight. They had a game last night, so I don't know if they're going to be weary or not. Certainly, our team's going to come out of the gate flying like we did against Minnesota, and if we can get a couple goals early, we may be able to blow this thing open. If not, Stoney Plain is going to be a tight checking team, and it's going to go right down to the wire if we can't get up on them early.
Todd Stark, the captain of St. John Vitos.
This second period, but the Vitos were back on the ice as the trailers in this hockey game. This is Allen Cup Hockey on Fundy Cable. I'm Andrew Cromwell, and Graham Stillwell is with me in the booth. And Graham, Vitos are certainly going to have to change their game plan maybe just a little bit and hopefully catch up in the second period.
Well, they had some shots on goal. They had some good chances. Unfortunately, they didn't get a bounce. I guess Ronnie Hatfield's shot at a gaping net early in the first period was unfortunate for the Vitos, but they have some scoring punch, and 1-0 after one period is certainly not an insurmountable lead. Full marks to Stoney Plain. They're in here in front of 3,500 plus rabid St. John fans, and it's got to be tough on a team like that to come into to this type of situation. But they have a 1-goal lead. They've stuck to their game plan. They're getting some good goaltending, and when they get into trouble, they ice the puck or get it up off the glass into a safe position at center ice or into the Vitos end. So Stoney Plain played very well, very similar to the game they played in the round robin portion of the tournament against St. John, which ended 2-1 St. John.
Okay, St. John has yet to bring home an Allen Cup Canadian Hockey Championship. In fact, it's been almost 60 years. Moncton Hawks back in 33 and 34 winning the Allen Cup. There hasn't been an Allen Cup in St. John. There's been one Hardy Cup back in 73, and I know that Nick and Peter Georgudis would love to have an Allen Cup trophy here in St. John, and this may be one of the last chances for the team to do it.
Well, Nick and Peter have dumped a lot of time and money and a lot of sweat, and they certainly deserve. They're getting the chance, which they're getting, but the icing on the cake would certainly be to hoist that mug at center ice when this game is over in a couple hours' time.
We're underway with the second period between the Vitos and the Eagles win the draw, and Gord Mark comes across center ice. A nice move there to bring himself into St. John territory quickly. Whistled on the offside.
I don't think St. John should change their game plan all that much. As I said, they did have an edge in shots on goal, but hopefully they can solve McGregor sometime early in this period and try to swing the momentum, because Stoney Plain certainly has it after taking that late 1-goal lead in the first period.
A friend of yours there with the puck in his hands right now. Pilsey.
feels he possibly leaving St. John for interests in the land down under. We're not quite sure, and we won't mention exactly what those interests are. I think they're well documented in the St. John area.
Bucket behind Stony Plains net. Majewsko up for Tarasak. Tarasak winds his way around Kane, comes across center ice. Noyes was dumped by Dwyer. Here's Eisner in on net, a save by Matt, the rebound. Coming out, Risling, taken into the boards by Huckins. Stoney playing with the puck again out front. Tarasak is there and they cover up.
Phil Huckins got his stick on that puck right in front of the net. Tarasak, again, one of the better Stony Plains players. He jumped on a loose puck, and if not for Phil Huckins coming across and getting a stick on that, Stony Plain could have jumped into a 2-0 lead. Both teams making changes here, 38 seconds in. Stony Plain, they seem to be a little like sharks. They smell the blood in the water, and they're going right for the throat, much like they did last night against Charlottetown. They got that 2-1 lead, and then the floodgates opened against Francois Gravel.
Here's Dave McDonald with a shot, just goes wide, right off the face-off. Kept in another shot by Parody, hits a player. Parody tries to put it out, puts it in behind the net. He's checked by Boucher, and McPherson is in there. Wildeboer for Stony Plain, and out comes St. John. Tony Wormel. He's being checked by Mark, the scorer of this game's only goal so far. Now Wormel, and Mark kicks it up. Dave McDonald tries to skate around number 26, Mike Boyce, and he's a hard guy to get around. Out come the Vitos. Parody dumps it back in for Stony Plain. The Eagles are forechecking here in this second period. Here's a chance for Mark, right on goal. Dave Matt is down. Net off the moorings, and as we mentioned about forechecking,
an uncharacteristic mistake by Big Mike Boyce of the St. John Vitos, trying to carry that. Have a look at that, trying to carry that puck out, last man back, against two Stony Plain forecheckers.
Boyce is tied up there by Wildeboer and Mark was left all by himself, and Dave Matt had to be sharp. Puck off the moorings, and that could have been 2-0 for Stony Plain. We're going to look at this at another angle as well and see how this materialized. Right here we see Boyce coming out, being forechecked by Wildeboer.
Three Stony Plain forecheckers.
So obviously Stony Plain coach Brad Schultz has had a word to keep the pressure on the St. John team, and I've had a chance to talk with Brad on a couple of occasions, and he's very composed. He's very composed, and here come the Vitos. Martin Lefebvre in on goal. Hit a player, bouncing wide out of danger. Uchuk up for Maltese, Kent Maltese, in along center ice. Zimmel gets past Cloutier, but it's called on the offside. There's Zimmel, the double goal scorer last night. Mike Zimmel, the team captain, as a matter of fact. He scored a big goal in that third period. He scored the go-ahead goal, and that, along with Gord Mark's goal shortly afterwards, really changed the pace of the game, especially after Mark's goal, Graham. The Islanders just didn't seem to be interested from that point.
That put Stony Plain up 3-1, and in the tight checking type of game that it was, that was more than enough for Stony Plain last night.
Here's Zimmel himself, still with the puck. Good play there by Stark. Zimmel lost control. Stark out front. Oh, and it hit the goalpost. McGregor down. He was going in the opposite direction. Actually, the Vito didn't even touch it, and it hit the goalpost. And a close play there.
I think you'll see it go off number 2, Jason Edgar's skate. No.
Here's the play
number
right
2,
here.
Jason Edgar's skate, and hit the goalpost. Never a bad play to lay that puck in the net. Todd Stark was looking for...
Another angle on this play again. Edgar, it hits Edgar's stake. Stark coming in. A bad play by Zimmel.
For Lefebvre in front.
Zimmel trying to bring the puck out of his own zone himself, and Todd Stark, who is a great defensive and offensive player himself, was right there, giving him problems, and it almost materialized into a goal.
Both teams' defensemen making some mistakes here early in the second period, and generally a mistake is the type of thing that can turn into a goal quite quickly.
We played 2 minutes of the second period. Vitos win the faceoff, back to the point. A shot from Bissonnette goes over the net. Cloutier pinches in. Good play to keep it in the Stony Plain ground. Edgar trying to get it out. Another chance out in front to the left of McGregor. Wisely, he covered up. So a tough shift for number 2, Jason Edgar of Stony Plain. He failed in his clearing attempt just a moment ago, and it bounced out to the left of Blair McGregor. And earlier on, as we just saw in 2 different angles, Jason Edgar almost gave us a tie game.
Stark, Lefebvre, and Brown having a good shift. Perhaps that'll be enough to turn the momentum of this game.
Cadet, Kane, and Maye on the forward line now against Eisner, Mark. The Vitos are the chance out front. Bissonette pitching in, shot. McGregor stopped that. Stoney Plain clears the zone. Good pressure there by the St. John Vitos in the early going.
Bobby Kane dug the puck out of the corner and got it to a Bissonette, who had jumped in off the blue line. The pass was a little high, but Bissonette knocked it down and got a fairly good backhand shot on McGregor, but he made the save.
Looking at number 16, Bob Bajusko, certainly a good defenseman here for the Stoney Plain Eagles. He's 5'11", and he played previously a local boy, the Stoney Plain Junior B Flyers. Weedles win the faceoff. Bissonette puts it over for Cloutier. A shot by Cloutier. And number 16, Bajusko, falling in front of that puck, and it goes into the crowd. Bajusko's an interesting player, I think, Graham. He doesn't seem to like to fight. He won't fight. But he certainly knows his role as a defenseman. And we just saw there Kane having words with Blair McGregor, and Bajusko was quick to move in.
Bajusko's played it tough all week. He had a couple of run-ins with number 20, Darren Murphy, with Charlottetown, and Murphy being one of the tougher players in the league. He didn't back down at all, and he's played tough all week, and he's getting a lot of ice time. He seems to play a lot with number 14, Gord Mark. And we know what type of ice time he logs.
Logs a lot of ice time for Stoney Plain, and as we spoke of, he with a very important goal against Charlottetown in the semifinal. Again, the linesmen not taking too much from the face-off boys. They are very quick to order a new face-off team to get in there. And now Gordmark with the puck. Kane in there forechecking. Going to see a penalty here. A high sticking penalty against the St. John Vitos, and Bobby Kane is going to set off for two.
Happened in behind the play as the puck went back to the blue line, I believe. Bobby Kane got his stick up on, I'm not sure, I'm sorry, I didn't see that. It was behind, a little bit behind the play.
Nonetheless, a power play opportunity for Stoney Plain.
Okay, pull down number 14, Gord Mark.
High sticking penalty for Bob Kane. And Stoney Plain is on another power play. So now the Eagles win that face-off. Gordmark over for Bajusko, his defensive partner. Bob Bajusko brings it across center ice. Will DeBoer is up there for Stoney Plain, but the Vitos dump it back in behind the net. Gordmark still out there for Stoney Plain. Long shift for him. I think he plays on all the specialty teams, and as well he logs a regular shift.
See, Bajusko and Mark switching sides to get the better angle on the net. Now they're back. Bajusko's going off.
And the Vitos clear their zone. Now Guy Parody with the puck for Stoney Plain. Puts it up onto the stick, meant for Len Mark, broken up by the Vitos, and they dump it back in. Vitos have been good killing the penalty tonight. Seen some good penalty killing by the Vitos all week, actually, and I think that has a big thing to do with their 3-0 Allen Cup round-robin record. Now Gordmark. Across the blue line, puts the move, gets around the defenseman. Gordmark out front! Wildeboer just missing on the pass from Mark. Failing to capitalize on that.
A nice move by Mark. I think the net has left its moorings again. Get those big players crashing the net. It doesn't take much to knock those nets off.
And Gordmark making that nice play after a long shift out there as well.
You mentioned penalty killing. It's been, in almost every game of the tournament, the penalty killing has been exceptional, with the exception of that 10-9 shootout Warroad and Stoney Plain, which I believe Warroad scored 7 power play goals. The penalty killing has been very good with all teams. Last night with Charlottetown and Stoney Plain, we noticed that.
Here's Parody with the puck now for Stoney Plain. His shot. Bad save there by Matt. He was very slow getting up. Tarasak falls, and Gannett picks it up for St. John. Kept in by Stoney Plain. Loved ahead by the Vitos down the end of the ice. And the Eagles will have to regroup. Darwin Bozak up for Al Tarasak. Maltese puts it back in his own corner, helping the Vitos cause killing their penalty. Now Parody for Stoney Plain. Up for Maltese on the left wing. Maltese in across the blue line. He takes a shot. Matt save, rebound, out front. Again out front. Matt is down. Not quite sure where the puck is, but it's there right beside him.
Dave Matt again slow getting up. He seems to be favoring that sore knee.
He's had some problems with it, and if you see him walking around the rink after the games or between games and during their off days, certainly showing a distinguishable limp. There's Phil Huckins, and St. John fans and the St. John Vitos glad to have him back in the lineup. Of course, he was involved in a major car accident last season. Very lucky to come up with it with his life. I believe he broke his pelvis. He was in hospital for a long time, and he's made a good recovery, and I don't think he's the same Phil Huckins that earned him the All-Canadian badge, but certainly an important part of the Vito's back.
He certainly has played well this year after that near-fatal car crash last year with Sean Lehman and other Vito's defensemen last year.
Stony Plain keeping it in. Cadet for St. John gets a hold of it. Bobby Brown is rushing up, looks for the pass, just missing on it. Icing is waved off. Brown takes his man Bozak into the boards. The Vito's keeping it in. Cadet. The penalty is expiring now. Vito's back to full strength. Kane just stepping back on the ice. And out comes Stony Plain. Bozak, a lead pass, broken up by Huckins, and Boyce is there as well. Bobby Brown. Vito's stumbling in the neutral territory. They're being urged on by the St. John fans here. They want a goal. And now Cadet, a lead pass for Kane, just off his skate. And out comes Stony Plain again. Bozak shoots it down. They've played just over 5 minutes of the second period. Len Mark's goal at the 18:09 marker of the first stands as the only goal in this game. Stony Plain leads the Vitos 1-0. Mike Boyce puts it over. Len Mark is there doing a good job forechecking in the second period. Here's a shot on Matt. Out front, Risling is there. Rebound. 77, Boucher had a good job taking care of him, and now Huckins comes out. Warmel up to Boucher. Here comes Michel Boucher across the blue line. He has to take on two Eagles. Hard time to do that, especially one. Jason Edgar takes him into the boards. Back to the point. McPherson keeps it in behind the net. Edgar. Around on the side, the Vitos will keep it in. Boucher puts it over to the side of the net. Out front. Knocked down, and out comes Stony Plain. And that is whistled down, glove to head by referee Don Gaudette. He signals.
St. John seem to be getting some penetration into the Stony Plain end, but they're playing excellent defensively in their own zone. They're not going into a kitty bar the door style by any manner, but they're not taking any chances in the neutral zone. They're just sending the 1-4 checker in with the second guy about halfway in, and they're playing exceptionally good hockey. I think the St. John fans, they've taken the fans out of the game a little bit with their style, and I'm sure that's good for Stony Plain.
LeBlond and Mark to face off against each other. The Vitos win it, and they keep it in. McPherson dumps it back in. Wire in behind the net for LeBlond, having a hard time with it. But around the side of the net, McKenzie pinches in, keeps the puck into the Stony Plain area. Edgar comes out now for the Eagles. He puts it up ice to Uchuk. Murray Uchuk, and across the blue line. Uchuk to McDonald, a shot. Matt had no problem with that. And Uchuk in there slapping away on it, and Dave Matt didn't like anything of that, and either did the St. John Vitos. Spark that Matt, we've seen of Dave Matt in past years, showing a bit there.
Dave Matt, like most goalies, does not like players taking a crack at that glove. We'll have maybe a look at this now to see the Stony Plain player come in and give him a crack in the trapper there.
And really, it was after the play, Uchuk coming in. We're going to see it again on another angle. And Matt does not like being touched. And watch Uchuk here come around the net. Matt clearly had the puck in his trapper and had it secured. And Uchuk coming in there to try to dislodge it. Blair McPherson in the penalty box, along with a Stony Plain Eagle. Coincidental minors because of that skirmish. Murray Uchuk, guy who started it all, in the box. Face off to the right of Matt. Here are the
Stony Plain number 9, Murray Uchuk. St. John number 22.
St. John player
Blair
questioning Donnie
McPherson.
Gaudette. He felt
2
maybe
minutes
the
each,
Stony
nothing.
Plain defenseman came in a little
Time
too
of the
far and that the
penalty,
face-off perhaps
6
should be
minutes,
outside, but
21
Gaudette will have
seconds.
none of it.
Vito's getting it out of their zone in the center ice area. Shot back in by Mark. Pat Cloutier around the boards. The center ice and Mark again for Stony Plain. Comes out of his own zone. Cloutier takes Maltese and hard into the boards. David Noyes and Bissonnette go at it. and Noyes comes out with the puck. Bissonette takes it. Off the boards and out. And here comes Dan LeBlanc on McGregor. Dan LeBlanc, a chance out front. McGregor is down. We still have play here. Here's a shot by Cloutier. Mark blocking that.
Stoney Plain penalty.
We're going to have another penalty here. As you said, against Stoney Plain. I think I know that I lost sight of the puck there. I thought it was in front of the net, and then LeBlanc comes out with the puck.
St. John has to be very careful here not to take a retaliatory penalty. Donnie Gaudette had Stoney Plain for the original minor.
Maltese is going in the penalty box. He doesn't think so. He's going to the bench, but he's going to head in the box. And it will be good news for the Vitos if they don't have a coincidental minor. Here's how the action materialized. There's Maltese along the side of the net. Here's Cloutier's shot.
Mayor Elsie Wayne in the crowd, enjoying tonight's game.
Along with her husband, Buzz. They're sitting next to Premier McKenna and his son. 13 minutes left in the second period. The Stoney Plain Alberta Eagles with a 1-0 lead here in this Allen Cup final. The Vitos with a few scoring opportunities. But Stoney Plain with a 1-0 lead. So a power play opportunity now for St. John. Brown, Stark facing off. Huckins puts it in. Brown is in there. Bajushko clears the zone for Stoney Plain. Stoney Plain had a rough couple of games during this tournament, Graham. They
Stoney Plain number 15, Kent Maltese. St. John number 18, Pat Cloutier. 2 minutes each, roughing. Time of the penalties, 6 minutes, 59 seconds.
So a pair of coincidental roughing penalties to the Vitos and Stoney Plain there. Although
Stoney Plain picked up the original minor for hooking on the rush, and then I think there was coincidental minors after. It's an excellent opportunity to put the Vitos and this big crowd back into the game, Andrew. I think it's a very critical time of the game here, although it is only 1-0. It would be an excellent opportunity for the Vitos to get back in it. Full-scale change by the Stoney Plain Eagles.
Eagles, a very good defensive team. They've showed that all tournament. And out comes the Vitos. Huckins puts it in. From Maillet. Maillet hammers Guy Parody in. They push and shove. Maillet plants himself out in front of the net. Boucher in behind, now to Brown. Boyce calmly keeps it in, but it goes onto the stick of Darwin Bozak, who clears the area. Vito's on a line change. 40 seconds left in their power play. Bissonette. Over for McKenzie. McKenzie across the blue line and dumps it in. Lefebvre tries to keep it in. He's got Risling there. Back to the point for Huckins. Huckins shoots it in. Lefebvre in the corner for Boucher. Boucher back to the point. Huckins looks and shoots. Just wide. Lefebvre back to retrieve it. Back to the point again. Another shot right on it.
Directed by Dan LeBlanc. The puck was laid on the net by Scott McKenzie. And this crowd is going berserk.
They're on their feet here at the LBR. LeBlanc, the finger goes up. You know, when he scores a goal, we've got a tie hockey game. Dan LeBlanc, as he's done all season long, scoring goals for St. John.
It wasn't a hard shot by Scott McKenzie, but it was on the net. LeBlanc cruising through the top of the crease. Got a piece of it. We'll have a look at that.
We'll let the picture speak for itself. LeBlanc parking himself out front and did a good job deflecting that.
Lefebvre did a nice job getting the puck back to McKenzie, digging it out of the corner, and that's good to see for Martin Lefebvre because he was a bit of a goat on Stoney Plain's goal. So nice to see him come up and get an assist on this goal. Hopefully that'll put St. John back in it. They are back in it. It's 1-1 now.
Tie hockey game here, and the puck in behind the Vitos net. Crowd buzzing now at the LBR. Here's the goal.
Assist. Number 2, Scott McKenzie. And number 4, Phil Huckins. Time of the goal, 8 minutes, 56 seconds.
So
St.
Dan
John,
LeBlanc
a power
from
play
Scott
goal
McKenzie
by
and Phil
Dan
Huckins.
LeBlanc. Assist to Scott McKenzie, Phil Huckins, 8:56.
Lefebvre was not credited with an assist on that, but I was quite sure he dug it out of the puck and got it back to McKenzie. They may perhaps change that a little later.
A face-off here. Warmel to the left of Blair McGregor. Vitos are moving now. They've tied this hockey game. A 1-all tie. They keep it in. Dwyer keeps it in. Edgar checks Warmel into the boards. Dwyer in there to help out his man. And the Eagles come out. Eisner back in, over for Mark. Up for Uchuk. Goes to Tarasak. Now Al Tarasak being taken care of by McGregor. Good job out front. Now is Eisner out front. Maybe a score! Len Mark left all alone. All by himself out in front of Dave Matt. He was untouched. And the Eagles have gone ahead.
Tarasak and Eisner. There's the pass by Eisner. Mark left alone to the left side to Dave Matt's right. And that certainly brought Osh to this crowd that were certainly pumped up. You see Tarasak taking the St. John defenseman out. Eisner jumping on the loose puck and getting it in front to Mark, and it's 2-1.
So that goal at 9:16, Len Mark has done most of the scoring for Stoney Plain in the whole tournament. He scored the only goal against St. John earlier on. He scored twice tonight.
Tarasak and Eisner doing the spade work on that one.
And number 19.
Hard work again pays off for Stoney Plain. They weren't phased by
Time to go to
that
9
quick St. John goal.
16 seconds.
Come right back with one of their own to go ahead here 2-1.
So in 30 seconds, we've had 2 goals here. The Vitos scoring at 8:46. 30 seconds later at 9:16. Len Mark with his second goal of the game, putting the Eagles up by 1. A hush over the crowd quickly. The Vitos have to come back quickly as well. Play in the neutral zone. Bajusko up for Noyes. Bissonette falls, and Maltese has the puck back for Noyes, who puts it out front onto a Vito stick, and they clear the zone. We're at the halfway marker of this second period. 2 goals, one by St. John, the other by Stoney Plain in the second period, and the Eagles have another 1-goal lead. They lead the Vitos 2-1. Here's Lefebvre in on goal. He fakes a shot. McGregor out of his net, and Lefebvre shoots wide. Kept in by the Vitos. Cloutier. Another weak shot. Floats, and Mark is there in front of the net. Todd Stark out front. Nobody there. Kept in by the Vitos. Cloutier. But Maltese goes around him and comes across the blue line. He's got Noyes at 2-on-1. A shot by Maltese. Saved by Matt. And the rebound not picked up by Stoney Plain, and the Vitos clear their territory. A good chance there by Lefebvre. He made a nice fake on McGregor out of the net. Here's Hatfield called on the offside, coming off the bench. A good call there by Chuck McTagg. Hatfield stepping on the ice from the left side of the Vitos box, and he did step on offside, I believe.
There's no doubt in Chuck McTagg's mind. I was watching this side of the ice. I didn't really see it, but Chuck McTagg has the final word on that call, and there'll be a face-off just outside the Stoney Plain zone. That rush by Lefebvre was very similar to the, have a look at that. Well, this is the action in front of the Stoney Plain net earlier. The puck just not bouncing the Vito's way.
And the Vitos came back, and the Eagles came back, and had a good chance there on Dave Matt. Nothing happening there, though. A 2-1 hockey game. Stoney Plain, Alberta leading the Vitos. We're applying pressure. Boucher with the puck in the corner. Puts it around behind the net for Hatfield. Hatfield goes across. McKenzie was tied up by McDonald. Vitos keep it in. Warmel. Now Hatfield. Boucher has the puck now for St. John. Michel Boucher over for Warmel out front. McGregor is down, sprawling on the puck. And he holds on. 8:56 left to play here in the second period.
Hard-working Michel Boucher did a nice job to keep that puck in at the blue line, along with Tony Warmel along the boards. Got it in front of the net and got a good chance on McGregor. But again, the puck just doesn't seem to be bouncing for the St. John Vitos.
Face off again to the right of Blair McGregor. The Vitos have been applying ample pressure here in the second period. They've got 1 goal, but again on the other side, Stoney Plain has had their chances as well. Len Mark, certainly a sniper for the Stoney Plain club. He just knows where to be in the right place at the right time.
Certain goal scorers are blessed with that ability. The puck seems to follow them, and Mark is no different.
Into the right of Blair McGregor, the puck. Kept in by St. John, but Stoney Plain comes out. That's Al Tarasak across the blue line. Tarasak. McKenzie is there. Tarasak rushing in. McKenzie takes his man, and off goes the net. Not just off the moorings, but totally tipped over.
That's the second or third time tonight we've seen the Stoney Plain player go hard at the net and lift the net off. This time it was Risley, number 25.
8 minutes and 41 seconds left in this second period. Look at a 2-1 Stoney Plain lead.
8 minutes, 41 seconds. Game just a little over half over. Very important that the Vitos don't panic here. Stick to their game plan. It's they're only facing a 1-goal deficit, and I think if they keep the work ethic up, that they won't get into trouble.
Dan LeBlanc on the ice. He scored the only Vitos goal of this hockey game. A deflection in front of the net. Stoney Plain keeps it in. A shot there. Right out front was Kelly Risling. He fanned on it. Couldn't quite get a hold of it. And he was left alone out in front of Dave Matt. Clock now into Stoney Plain territory. Huckins takes Parody in. Maillet's out there. Bobby gets a chance out front for Huckins. He is thrown into Blair McGregor. Play still goes on, though. Gaudette not calling it down, and it's cleared out of the zone. Phil Huckins was in the Stoney Plain net, and we're going to have a penalty here assessed against Stoney Plain. It's a holding penalty, and the Vitos will be on a power play. We're going to see Huckins making a trek into the net right there. He's pushed back in it. Maillet's in there, and Gaudette, you see him over there watching the play.
Sylvain Maillet being held by 31, the goaltender, his stick being held as he was trying to get out of that pileup. Earlier, the Stoney Plain Eagles had a great chance in front of Dave Matt, and I said earlier the puck wasn't bouncing for the Vitos, but it certainly bounced for them there. He was about to tuck it in, the Stoney Plain player, and it hopped over his stick.
Just over 8 minutes left to play in this second period. The Vitos on another power play. In fact, a pair of minors assessed to Stoney Plain. A pair of minor penalties.
Appear to be going to be getting a two-man advantage. I didn't see what the second call was for. The first one was, well, they're taking one off now.
Possibly a technical error here.
Stoney Plain number 3, Darwin Bozak, 2 minutes for holding.
I guess it was
St. John
Bozak.
number 35, Sylvain Maillet, 10-minute misconduct. Time of the penalty, 11 minutes, 54 seconds.
So Sylvain Maillet is not a happy camper, given a 10-minute misconduct by referee Don Gaudette. Bozak given the minor penalty for Stoney Plain.
I guess it was Bozak, not McGregor, that had a hold of Maillet's stick. He's starting to make some gestures now towards the Stoney Plain bench.
Here's Cloutier with the puck for St. John. He's being watched closely by Mark, who's done a fabulous job forechecking for the Eagles tonight, and he forces to play back into the Vitos territory. Cloutier goes over for Boyce. Boyce in behind his own net. Puts it up along the wing for Pat Cloutier, who brings it in and dumps it in off the glass. Bobby Brown is there, tries to keep it in for St. John. Todd Stark there to help out. Stark goes back for LeBlanc. LeBlanc, and Boyce keeps it in. Into the corner. Dan LeBlanc with the puck in behind the net now. Over in the corner now for Stark. Stark looks around, tries to go to the point. Does. Here's a shot by Cloutier. That hit a player. The bounce to the side. Another shot for Stark. He went high, looking for the upper corner. He knew McGregor was down. LeBlanc is dumped out in front by Jason Edgar. The crowd calling for a penalty. Here's Cloutier. Over for Boyce. Boyce had trouble with it. Now Lindsey Hall. And Uchuk is in there. They want to freeze the puck. And it's whistled dead. Dan LeBlanc was tied up.
Dan LeBlanc has just picked up an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Very, very bad time to take a penalty.
Not a good time for Dan LeBlanc. He'll sit off for 2 minutes.
LeBlanc not happy with the treatment he received in front of the Stoney Plain net and slammed the boards in front of referee Don Gaudette as the whistle went. Fans are
not happy.
Not happy at all, to say the least. Say Don Gaudette feels a little bit like a pair of brown shoes, and the world is a tuxedo.
Here's LeBlanc, who's cross-checked by Uchuk out in front of the net, and that's what the fans were calling for.
LeBlanc was lucky he didn't pick up a minor penalty for playing without a helmet. He realized quite quickly that he had to pick it up and get it on or get to the bench. But unfortunately, he did pick up a
number
minor
52, Dan LeBlanc. 2 minutes, unsportsmanlike conduct. Time of the penalty, 13 minutes, 2 seconds.
Vitos are going to have to show a little more discipline than that.
In about 45 seconds, the Eagles will be on another power play. And the puck is in behind Dave Matt now. He goes up along the right wing. Pass up. Across for Cadet. He's taken into the boards by his man. Wildeboer over for Mark. Gord Mark passes it across for Bajusko. Bajusko weaves across center ice. Skates around Lefebvre. Here's Bajusko, a shot. Matt directs that into the corner. Bajusko picks up his own rebound. Fighting against Scott McKenzie. They're fighting for the puck, Bajusko and McKenzie. Len Mark is in there to help out the cause. Now Bajusko. The Vitos come out with it, though. Out come the Vitos, Martin Lefebvre. In across the blue line. Turns and waits. Lefebvre shoots it in. 6 minutes left in the second period. The Eagles of Stoney Plain with a 2-1 lead over the Vitos. And the Eagles now on a power play with 55 seconds remaining in that. Paradis dumps it in behind the Vitos net. Len Mark is there to keep it in for Stoney Plain. He is checked by Cloutier. McPherson in there. Stoney Plain keeps it in. Guy Paradis. Len Mark tries to keep it in. He is checked out. Out come the Vitos. Here comes St. John. Martin Lefebvre on McGregor. Martin Lefebvre. Good play by McGregor. Breaking up the play on Lefebvre, who was coming in with his just one hand on a stick. Kept in by the Vitos. Boucher. Shot. Paradis went down and blocked that shot for Stoney Plain. And he'll get the puck and clear it out. Eisner now goes wide. The Vitos, Pat Cloutier, with the puck still in center ice area. 8 seconds left in the Vitos penalty. Cloutier was taken down. And the whistle blows with 5 minutes left in the second period.
Cloutier wanting a penalty, he's going to have to tone it down a little bit. Donnie Cadet is not going to give a penalty for a hook at center ice. Again, Donnie Cadet takes a lot of heat from the St. John fans, but an offense is going to have to be a little more flagrant than that.
We're going to show the fans why Cloutier is so angry. He was grabbed around by the elbow by an Eagle, went down, no penalty called, and he was not a happy camper, to say the least.
Donnie Cadet is not going to call a hook at center ice in this hockey game, guaranteed. St. John Vitos are going to have to tone it down just a little bit. They're starting to lose their composure a little bit.
The Vitos penalty is over. Back on the ice is Dan LeBlanc. Maltese shoots it in. Boyce is checked by David Noyes. And now Maltese in the corner. He checks LeBlanc. And out come the Vitos. Bissonnette goes across ice for his man. Just misses on Warmel. But now Boucher has it. Michel Boucher. Stolen by Noyes. Noyes puts it in for Zimmel. Zimmel a shot. Handled by Dave Matt. Uchuk keeps it in. Shot from the point. Over around behind the net is 15, Maltese. Still with the puck. Vito's having problems with the Eagles in their own zone here. 4 minutes and 15 seconds left in the second period. Maltese puts it back for Uchuk. Uchuk is checked. Vito's trying to clear it, and they will. Good pressure applied here by Stoney Plain as we get into the last part of the second period. The Eagles forechecking effectively in the second period. As you say, we think the Vito's losing a bit of their composure, drawing a couple of penalties. Here's Boyce keeping it in. He's checked by Wildeboer. Clears the ice, and now McDonald comes out for Stoney Plain in across the blue line. Dave McDonald, a shot. Right on. Dave Matt with the save. Caught out of the net a bit, but Lefebvre is there to help out. And out come the Vitos. Now Wildeboer. Shoots it in. Bajusko is there. 3 defensemen. Now Bobby Brown comes in across for St. John. Puts a move, but tied up by Gord Mark effectively. Lenmark back in there for Stoney Plain. Kept in by Huckins. Lefebvre tried to hit Bobby Brown. Brown couldn't hold on. McKenzie dumps it back in. There's just over 3 minutes left to play in the second period now. The Eagles with a 1-0 lead over the Vitos here in the second period in this Allen Cup final. 2-1 lead. 3 minutes and counting now. Here comes Stark. Stark puts a move on. Out front over Lefebvre. McGregor. Lefebvre is there in behind the net. Lefebvre out front now. And Stoney Plain comes out a 2-on-1 break the mark, boys. Now Lindmark with a puck for Stoney Plain. He winds and goes over far across, meant for Dave McDonald. But Paradis picks it up for Stoney Plain, keeps it in. McDonald puts it out front. Lindmark is right there, but Dave Matt covers up.
That 2-on-1 was broken up when Gordmark was just hoisted by the St. John back checker. St. John, since they've gone down, we see Dave Matt again, slow getting up. He's played very, very well, but that knee does seem to be bothering him. Ever since the St. John fell behind 2-1, their defensemen have become more involved, jumping into the play, and as a result, 2-on-1s, as we see here.
Huckins,
he was just corralled by Huckins.
Totally upends his man. He's caught out of the play. And nonetheless, the face-off will be in Stoney Plain in St. John Vito ground. 2 minutes and 32 left in the second period.
That should be an indication to both teams what Donnie Gannett is willing to let go. That was pretty flagrant, but Donnie Gannett chose to let it go. He's going to let the players play.
Vito is moving their puck out of their own zone. LeBlanc in across the blue line. Dan LeBlanc shoots it in the corner. Luce up there pitching in for the defense. He goes back to the point. Keeps it in for St. John. In behind the net, 2 Vitos and 2 Eagles.
I mentioned earlier, St. John defense getting very involved in the offensive zone in Stoney Plain zone, and it has led to a couple of 2-on-1s. Got to make sure they have a back checker looking after that defenseman pinching in. Mike Boyce has been in. Kluche's been in a couple of times, and it does leave you vulnerable to the 2-on-1. So they've got to make sure they watch the off forward, make sure he picks up that defenseman's spot.
Eagles clear the ice. Down, and that's called on the icing once again, so it'll be back to the left of Blair McGregor for another face-off. Looking at the crowd there, a big crowd here at St. John's LBR tonight. Obviously, and expected the largest crowd in the past few years here at the LBR. Well over 3,000. Every seat is taken up. They've got extra bleachers in behind one of the nets.
Stony Plain with their grinders out there, Eisner, Risling, and Terazak. They've created opportunities anytime they've been on the ice tonight, so we'll see what happens here. Blair Nicholson countering with Hatfield, LeBlanc, and Mike Dwyer. Mike Dwyer seeing limited action tonight. He started the game, I think trying to send a bit of a message, but this is a good line to counter this line of Stony Plains.
We're down to the final 2 minutes of this second period, 1:50 and counting left. Vito's trailing Stony Plain 2-1 here, trying desperately for another goal. As Blair McGregor covers up for the Eagles. I wonder what the conversation will be in each dressing room after this second period, Graham, on the behalf of Coach Blair Nicholson for the Vitos and Brad Schultz for Stony Plain. I wonder, what do you think he'll be saying to his troops?
Well, I think as far as Stony Plain goes, they have to just continue to do exactly what they're doing, looking after their own zone, jumping on the opportunities in the other team's zone, and St. John has to continue doing what they're doing. They've created some scoring chances, but the puck hasn't gone in for them. But a 1-goal deficit is not much in senior hockey.
Vito's dumping it back in again after the Eagles cleared. Jason Edgar just dodges a check there from Tony Warmel. And now Noyes flips it up into the air and sends it down the ice with Maltese forechecking. And that again is whistled down. Kent Maltese and Len Mark, a couple of the noticeable forecheckers for the Stony Plain Eagles tonight. Maltese certainly not a large player, but certainly he is full of all kinds of spunk. Maltese, again, from the West Coast. He's only 5'8", although he weighs 185 pounds and played his junior in Salmon Arm. Now Uchuk, as play is back underway, dumps it in. In behind the net, the Vitos will come out with it again. Across center ice is Boucher. He's tied up, though, by Zimmel. Boucher fighting for the puck. Keeps a hold of it, but there's 3 or 4 Eagles around him as we come down to the final 60 seconds of the second period. Eagles changing
Very close to too many men on the ice there.
And the crowd wanted it for sure. The puck came into the area of Jason Edgar as he was getting off the ice for Stoney Plain, and certainly the crowd here at the LBR, 3,500 plus, calling for a penalty. No go, says Don Gaudette. Don Gaudette certainly being very liberal in his calls tonight.
Donnie Gaudette is a very experienced official. He's refereed internationally, and he certainly has control of this game tonight. I think to believe the rule on that is if the player strikes a player leaving or the player replacing that player, then it should be too many men on the ice. But I don't think you're going to get that call in a hockey game this tight with so much on the line.
20 men.
McPherson just having a chance
Time
to see.
penalty, 19 minutes, 7 seconds.
He called it.
Stoney Plain.
Thanks, Donnie. Make me look real good.
Too many men. 1907.
They're saying Blair McPherson, we just had a chance to take a look at him. Part of the St. John Vito's defense, and the Vitos will have a power play here in the dying minutes in the first minute of the third period as well. Unless they score a goal, of course. Huckins with a cross ice. Cloutier passes it up for Lefebvre. Lefebvre for Brown. Brown dumps it in. He's muscled around by Mark, but a puck goes into Stark. Back for Brown. Brown goes to the point. Huckins goes in the corner again. Out front. McGregor's down. It is whistled gloved ahead by Don Gaudette. The Vitos thought for a moment that they had scored. No go, says Gaudette. He says the puck was gloved ahead.
We'll have another look at that. Very close to scoring the tying goal here, but I didn't see where the infraction occurred, but the puck ended up right on the goal line. Oh, there it was right there. Number 16, Lefebvre. Well, I don't know. He looked like he gloved it to himself. Hard to say.
Nonetheless, Gaudette calling it gloved ahead. 29 seconds left in the second period. Again, the Vitos on a power play here. Eagles caught with too many men on the ice. That's called on the offside, so the Vitos have 26 seconds to try to score a goal and go back to the dressing room pumped up after 2 periods.
I blew that too many men on the ice call just as our producer Dave Eastwood entered the booth.
Well, we'll forgive you for that.
He's looking around for my 8-year-old son. I think he wants to maybe give him my spot here in the third period.
Here's a shot from center ice, easily handled by Blair McGregor. Kajewsko tries to clear it, shoots it over the boards with just 12 seconds left now in the second period.
See who comes out for this very important draw.
Chance for a couple of more shots if things go the right way for St. John. Stark in for the draw, and it will be Mark for Stoney Plain.
Cloutier has moved in from his blue line position to just beyond the rim of the circle. He looks like he may be the trigger man. Stark to Cloutier to Huckins, I believe, are what they'll try here.
12 seconds left. Big face-off. Cloutier moving in, or rather Lefebvre moving in. And the plan doesn't work. Eagles clear it. The Vitos shoot it back in, and that'll do it for the second period. Bone-crushing check there. Taking the door off its mooring there, but nonetheless, second period is over. Cloutier dumping a man there. Pushing and shoving going on.
It's Stoney Plain
Nice
15.
Stoney playing on that
By St. John 11.
at the end of the period.
So the St. John Vitos left the first period trailing 1-0. They leave the second still trailing, this time 2-1. A quick rundown of the scoring in the second period. The Vitos tying it up at 8:46. Dan LeBlanc from Scott McKenzie and Phil Huckins. And then Len Mark with his second goal of the hockey game. 9:16, 30 seconds later. He was assisted by Al Tarasak, and the Alberta Eagles from Stoney Plain lead the St. John Vitos after 2 periods of play. We'll take this break on Cable 10. During our second intermission, we'll talk. Larry Somerville will speak with the captain of St. John, Todd Stark, and as well we'll have a conversation with Pat Palmer.
Suddenly, February 4th, loving husband to Catherine, proud father.
You can help to end the pain.
Of Patrick and Elizabeth, at the request of the family, a donation to the Heart and Stroke.
Research and education are working. When you give to your local Heart and Stroke Foundation, we're improving your odds against Canada's #1 killer. Together, we can end the pain.
Okay, with me now is Pat Palmer, the chairperson of this Allen Cup Canadian Senior Hockey Championships. Pat, a lot of work going into this. First of all, you got to be pleased with the success and all the positive remarks that everyone's been giving, especially the public.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. St. Johners, Andrew, once again have come together like only St. John seems to be able to come together. And we've had a tremendous effort with a large number of volunteers that have, willingly donated their time and expertise. And I think most people are happy that have come in.
Okay, now, a lot of people donated their time, as you said. Now, this isn't something that you put together in just a couple of weeks. Why don't you tell me briefly some of the things that are involved and how long you've been working on this?
Well, we started this last August when we put together the bid that went to the Canadian Amateur Hockey Association, and we were awarded the Allen Cup back around the 1st of September by the Board of Directors. And since then, Carl White and I have put together the organizing committee, and once the organizing committee was together, which was 13 people, we then went out and the organizing committee put together all the other volunteers that you see walking around with the blue jackets and a lot of other people, such as St. John Ambulance, the St. John Salvage Corps Fire Police, and the medical staff and so on that you don't see uniformed.
Okay. Tonight's championship game, of course, between the Vitos and Stoney playing. Of course, all St. Johners and St. John hockey fans want the Vitos to win, but really, despite the outcome of the hockey game, just a really successful tournament on your behalf.
Well, I think so. All St. John, of course, is pulling for the Vitos to win. They're 3-0 in the tournament and seem to be the class of the tournament. But Stoney have played 2 exciting games in the last 3 days, and they've got a very good hockey team. And I think the Vitos are going to have to play very well to win, but I think they can win.
Have you had a chance to see the hockey? I know you've been here all week, and I know you must be a very busy man. Have you had to get a chance to sit down and see the hockey during the week?
Probably about half of the action. In the other times, I'm in meetings or I'm attending to some aspect of the tournament operation, but I've seen about half of the tournament, and I'm really impressed with the play.
Pat Palmer, the tournament chairman of the Allen Cup, being held here at the LBR in St. John. We'll take a quick break on Cable 10, and when we come back, a conversation with Rod Clark of the New Brunswick Amateur Hockey Association. Hard-fought game. What do you think? Okay, we're with Rod Clark now of the New Brunswick Amateur Hockey Association. Rod, you've been involved in senior hockey a long time, hockey in New Brunswick. Can you first explain to me your role now with the NBAHA, what your job is?
Okay, I'm the chairman of the Senior Hockey Council for the province of New Brunswick. And the province itself is broken into 8 regions, and there's 2 people in each region. And they try to promote senior hockey, adult recreational hockey in each region. And the chairman's job, I guess, is just to kind of facilitate their involvement in each of their various regions. Adult recreational hockey now is a big thing in the province. There's people that are no longer playing competitive or contact hockey. It's growing in leaps and bounds, and it's very entertaining hockey also. The difference, I guess, is the body checking. It's completely out of it now.
Do you get to many hockey games around the province, or is it mostly a paperwork job for you?
No, I've seen a fair amount of senior hockey games this year. I came to St. John 4 or 5 times. My brother Mike plays for the Vito, so I also have an interest in the Vitos in that my brother plays for them. I've watched a fair amount of junior in the province this year. Fredericton had a junior team. I'm originally from the Fredericton area, so where we don't have a senior team, I haven't seen as many as I'd like to have seen. But in my opinion, senior hockey's still up there as one of the most entertaining brands of hockey in the province.
No question about that. Now, as a player, moving into a job, more of an administrative job, how was your time playing hockey around the province of New Brunswick? How does that help you in your job today?
Well, I played senior hockey for 7 years, 4 with Fredericton, a couple of years in Minto, and 1 down here with the Vitos. And I guess I know how the senior guys are thinking and the things that, they have to go through where they work and away on the weekend. So I guess that way, where I've been through it, it's a lot easier to understand some of their concerns.
Okay, and you've been here all week for the Allen Cup festivities. Your thoughts on the way things have been put together? I think from a crowd standpoint, very receptive, and it looks to most people to have been a very excellent tournament.
My opinion, like I say, I've watched senior hockey for years and years, probably going on 25 years, from the North Shore to Fredericton, the southern part of the province, and the people that have put this tournament on deserve a lot of credit. Nick and Peter, they just did a tremendous job. I was talking to Tim Gillies, the national senior man, and he couldn't believe how it's gone on without a hitch. And I think the people of St. John, the city, all the volunteers deserve a heck of a lot of credit. And I think this has probably been some of the most entertaining games I've seen all year. As yourself know, that 2-1 Stoney game, that was quite a game.
Okay, you've seen every team play. I'll put you on the spot here for a minute. Tonight's game and the St. John Vitos in the final. Who do you pick to win it all?
Vitos. Definitely, without a doubt. I'm predicting the Vitos for several reasons. My heart's with them because I'm representing them in the interbranch play. Also, my brother plays for them. But besides all that stuff, I think that talent-wise, they probably have the people with the most skills. They got a good balance of toughness, quickness, guys that can move the puck. I think basically they have the best team here now. Whether or not things go their way, we'll just keep our fingers crossed, I guess. But my prediction is Vitos.
Okay, we're getting set for the third period of action here at the LBR, and we see the captain of the Vitos, Todd Stark, is going to make a draw on behalf of the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation. The draw is for, what you see the person holding there, a print of the legendary Gordie Howe, Todd Stark, and one of the committee members of the Allen Cup. Ray Thompson is down there, and there's a great shot right there of Gordie Howe. It's a beautiful print, so whoever wins it certainly is in store for quite a prize. And we'll find out who wins it here in just a second. As we say, we're getting ready to start this third period between the Vitos and Stoney playing, and the Vitos have some catching up to do. They trail 2-1.
Harold Mays doesn't seem to be that popular a choice with the crowd here, but Harold put a lot of work into high school hockey in the area.
Taking a look now at one of the coaches, the St. John Vitos coach, Blair Nicholson, and the assistant coach for the Stoney Plain Eagles on hand looking at the action. Blair, of course, certainly has a concerned look on his face, rightfully so. His Vitos trail 2-1 with 20 minutes of hockey left.
They do
20
have
minutes of hockey.
Power play for 1 minute and 7 seconds to start this period. This will be as good a time as any to play this game up.
There's a Stoney Plain coach there, Brad Schultz, urging his players on. The third period is underway. The Eagles will certainly be playing defensive as the Vitos have 56 seconds left in their power play from the end of the second period, rather. Here's Todd Stark for St. John, out with the puck, circling around, looking for some maneuvering room. He's being watched closely. He hands off to Mike Boyce. Now Stark again across the blue line of Stoney Plain. Todd Stark worked his way in behind the net, looks it out front, rebound out front. That hit a player, bounced dangerously in front of McGregor, and over now to the left of him. Vito still, the power play. 25 seconds left in that here out front of wraparound. Score! Wraparound play by Martin Lefebvre. And oh ho ho, we've got a tie hockey game, and that certainly changes things. It was a quiet LBR here moments ago. Lefebvre, I think, took Blair McGregor by surprise. We're going to watch what happens right here,
folks.
Great
patience showed by veteran Todd Stark. Waiting, sees Lefebvre, wraps it around, and ties the game.
A tie hockey game here. What a big goal by Martin Lefebvre. He really has had a quiet Allen Cup. He's been outstanding all season long. He quieted off in the Allen Cup, but oh, what a time to compensate for that pass in the first period.
Perfect timing on Martin Lefebvre's part. Todd Stark again showing great patience. Showed patience in his own zone, waiting for the puck to come out. And then made a great play to get the puck to Lefebvre, and it's 2-2.
Scored by number 16, Martin
Another
Lefebvre.
power play goal for St. John. I think that's their second both their goals on the power play tonight.
Assist to number 24, Todd Stark.
Now.
And number 52, Dan LeBlanc. Time of the goal, 43 seconds.
There's another shot on goal right in now.
A power play goal by
Martin Lefebvre gets the goal, assisted by Stark. And LeBlanc, the power play at 43 seconds. We've got a tie 2-2 game here at the LBR, the Vitos and Stoney playing in this Allen Cup final. Now Tarasak out in front. Matt makes the save. Tarasak tried to do almost the same thing that Lefebvre did. Couldn't get that one by on Dave Matt, though. And it looked like, going back to that play for a moment, Graham, that McGregor thought that Lefebvre was going to go around the other side of the net because his head twitched. He went over, and Lefebvre went on the short side.
McGregor certainly, I don't know if he stuffed that puck between McGregor's legs or in the short side, but I don't think he expected Lefebvre to jump around the way he did. Stoney Plain coming very close, similar to the in the first period after St. John had scored their first goal. I'm sorry, in the second period, coming right back with one of their own.
So the Vitos have the momentum now. A different hockey game altogether. I thought that the Eagles would come out in the third and play defensive. The Vitos came out as they had to play offensive. A 2-all game. 18 minutes left in the third period. Now Zimmel in across the blue line. He winds up and takes a shot. Dave Matt makes the save.
Mike Boyce keeping the front of that net clear.
Uchuk giving Boyce a shove, and Blair McPherson had words with him.
McPherson with his very typical circling the prey type actions that we've seen so far, so often this season.
And Mike Boyce as well isn't a fighting hockey player. He's a big defenseman, but he doesn't get involved in too much of the really rough stuff. And McPherson was in there to give him a helping hand.
I think in the 2 seasons Mike has been here, I saw him get upset once last year with David Cameron, and he got into a bit of trouble over in the island in the league finals. But other than that, Mike just generally goes about his job and moves the puck out in a conservative manner, keeps the front of the net clear, and doesn't get too much involved in fisticuffs of any sort.
It's a big face-off in the Vito zone. Bobby Brown facing off against Len Mark. A big face-off here. Wilbur will step in place of Mark to face off against Brown. Edgar and Uchuk on the point for Stoney Plain. Gaudette telling Boyce to back off a little. And the Vitos do win the draw. McPherson up along the boards for Dwyer. Dwyer goes up for Gaudette. Ron Gaudette moves on Edgar. With the puck still is Gaudette. Out front, here's a shot. McGregor makes a save. And Uchuk has it now for Stoney Plain. He'll go in behind his net and try to clear his territory. 17 minutes and 35 seconds left in this third period of the Allen Cup. The Vitos in Stoney Plain, Alberta, deadlocked at 2. Jason Edgar goes wide for Dave McDonald. And Mike Boyce breaks that play up, but it's whistled down.
2-line pass.
On the offside. There's Mr. Boyce. He received a match penalty in Charlottetown and received a couple of game suspension from League President Patty Adam.
I believe it was a gross misconduct, Andrew.
Okay.
For some shenanigans around the Charlottetown bench in the 9th or 7th or 12th or whatever game that was over there. We're not really sure.
I don't think anyone's too sure about that. Here's Dan LeBlanc out in front. Cloutier was pitching in. Should say Lefebvre pitching in. Still with the puck is Cloutier. Here's it out front. That one just to the left of McGregor. Out front again. Cloutier having a good shift. Lefebvre with a good shift as well. Risling blocked that shot. Lefebvre, Cloutier pinching in on the point. Kept in by St. John. Here's Cloutier. A shot. Doesn't quite get to Blair McGregor. Cloutier again with a shot. Up high. And McGregor made the save. High sticking. Called by Gaudette. So Martin Lefebvre is the hero so far in this hockey game. He scored the tying goal at 43 seconds of the third period. It was a power play marker, assisted by Todd Stark and Dan LeBlanc, and the crowd is buzzing here at the LBR now. A face-off between Zimmel and Stark. And again, they're waved out. LeBlanc will take this one.
Linesman seeming to have very little patience with players who won't get their stick down for these face-offs.
Vitos win the face-off. Here's Cloutier, shoots it in, hit another player. Another chance out front. Lefebvre just missed on that one, and out comes Stoney Plain now. David Noyes dumps it in. Matt covers up.
Matt taking absolutely no chances with the two Stoney Plain forecheckers coming bearing down on the Vito's defense.
The Eagles have been very successful to this point in shutting down the offense of the St. John Vitos. They have, as we mentioned before, a potentially very potent offense, and the Eagles have shut them down, basically a little bit of the clutch, a little bit of the grab, and it's thrown St. John off its game, so to speak.
They've played great positional hockey, never gotten too much trouble, either in their own zone or in the neutral zone.
Maltese keeps it in for Stoney Plain around the net. Warmel tries to clear it. Boucher comes out with it for St. John. He puts a move across the blue line. Michel Boucher, a shot. That one just goes wide of the post. Vito was pulled down there. Fans calling for a penalty. Warmel slowed down considerably by Stoney Plain. Fans hollering there for a penalty, but Gadet says no.
Donnie Gadet is going to have the whistle in his pocket unless there's a scoring chance taken away, I'm quite sure.
Tony Warmel really has been an invaluable addition to the St. John Vitos. Of course, St. John senior hockey fans know him from his days in the Miramichi. Always potent, always a goal scorer. And the Vitos certainly received help from him this year. He moved down and now lives in St. John. There's a shot from McKenzie, the point. McGregor didn't know where it was for a second, and it goes to the right of him. St. John keeps it in. Boucher just missing on that. McKenzie and McDonald mixing it up a bit behind the play. And now in the play, Boucher gets around his player. Goes in behind the net, puts it out front. Goes past his man, and Dave McDonald comes out now for Stoney Plain. Puts it into neutral area. Really no one there to pick it up. 15 minutes and 45 seconds left in the third. Wildeboer in across the blue line. Puts it over, meant for Mark. Warmel broke it up. Vitos will change lines now, and it's whistled on the icing.
Speaking about Tony Warmel,
I'm going to go downstairs right now and a conversation with Larry Somerville. He has someone there that he's going to talk to. Larry?
With me is Kevin Gadet. Kevin, you're one of the better players that ever come out of New Brunswick in the senior league. You won 3 scoring races with the Miramichi Packers and the Shediac Packers. Where'd you play this year?
I played in Wiedemark, Germany. In the there's 6 different divisions over there, and I played in the 3rd division.
You must be pretty proud of your younger brother Ronnie here tonight with a chance to win the Allen Cup.
Oh, very proud. We have our family has all played in different kind of championships, Hardy Cups, professional playoffs, and also university championships, but none of us have had a chance to win the Allen Cup, and it's really a thrill to see Ronnie out there.
Have you ever played with Ronnie on the same team?
No, the only time I played with Ron is in the press league at home, and Eddie St. Pierre and Joey McLaughlin are out there. And but seriously, with as far as competitive hockey, I never had the chance, but hopefully someday I will.
Well, behind the play, as we were talking to Kevin Gadet, his brother Ron Gadet, instrumental in this play here. The Vitos have moved ahead 3-2, a huge goal. I believe Bobby Brown has scored it to put the Vitos ahead 3-2, a jovial St. John Vitos hockey team, and Graham Gadet was there to mix things up in front of the net. We're going to see exactly what happens here.
Just a wild pile up in front of the net. The puck came to Gadet. We'll maybe get another look at this from another angle. Here we are.
Gadet makes the initial play. Brown is there to poke it in.
Bobby Brown, exactly. Some hard work by Gadet. The Vitos have really taken it to Stoney Plain. Speaking to some of the fans in between periods, they felt Stoney Plain would run out of gas here in the 3rd period. And I don't know whether that's the case or whether St. John has just picked it up a notch, but they lead this hockey game 3-2.
Assist to number 8, Mike Dwyer, and number 26.
And there's another goal.
Another one! The Vitos are up 4-2.
Time of the goal, 4 minutes, 54 seconds.
Outstanding. The St. John fans who were sitting on their hands for most of the night have reason to cheer. There's one right on the screen waving a hockey stick. We're going to see how this one was scored quickly.
Little mix-up between the goaltender McGregor and the defenseman.
And it looked like the puck may have been off the moorings there. So that goal just 10 seconds later.
St. John's 3rd goal was scored by number 27, Bob Brown. Assist to number 8. And also number 26, Mike Dwyer and Mike Boyce, 4:54. St. John's 4th goal, scored by number 16, Martin Lafay.
10 seconds apart.
Martin Lefebvre has scored his 2nd goal of the hockey game here, an unassisted marker at 5:04. So the Vitos with 2 quick goals, 10 seconds apart, and the crowd's going crazy.
I don't know what Blair Nicholson did to his troops in between periods, but they have come out on fire.
They are applying the pressure here.
16, Martin Lefebvre,
keeping in the Eagle
unassisted.
zone.
Time to go, 5 minutes,
for Stoney
4
Plain.
seconds.
Bissonette and Huckins. Bissonette clears it out. Now Cloutier puts it up for Dan LeBlanc. Dan LeBlanc dumps it in safely, and Paradis tries to clear it out. And Martin Lefebvre, who scored his second goal of the night just moments ago, is in there as well.
The goal was scored by number 52, Dan LeBlanc. Assist to number 16, Martin
We just
Lefebvre.
received a correction on that fourth goal. Dan LeBlanc scored the goal. Dan LeBlanc with the fourth St. John goal, so it's his second goal of the night. Let's go downstairs now with Larry Somerville.
Okay. With me is longtime senior hockey star Kevin Gaudette. Kevin, you won 3 scoring championships. There's no longer a New Brunswick Senior League, but where'd you play this year?
I played in Wiedenmark, Germany in the 3rd division. Over in Germany, there's 6 different divisions, and I was in the 3rd one, and it was a really good experience.
Kevin, you must be pretty happy tonight seeing your younger brother Ron here playing with a chance to win the Allen Cup.
Yeah, it's very exciting. None of our family has ever had a chance to win the Allen Cup, and it's the Allen Cup is really hockey senior supremacy, and it would be really nice to see Ron out there taking the cup for for everybody.
That's good. Have you ever had the possibility, or do you want to, or in the near future, possibly you and Ron playing together?
I'd hope so. I never had the chance to play competitively with Ron. We have a similar style of play, and it would be really nice if we could have a chance to play together.
Thanks, Kevin. Kevin Gaudette, one of the stars that ever come out of New Brunswick Senior Hockey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Kevin. And the Vitos have received a penalty here. It'll give the Stoney Plain Eagles a chance to try to come back after leading a goal heading into this 3rd period. They're now trailing by 2.
Cross-checking penalty to number 77, Michel Boucher, who's also one of the key penalty killers for the Vitos. Let's not count the Stoney Plain outfit out. That's not very nice.
They're not happy with that call, obviously, and basically the words speak for itself.
7, Michel Boucher.
I believe Donnie Gaudette is
2 minutes, checking from behind.
Japan, maybe next
Time
year.
of penalty,
Trying to help
6
him a bit
minutes,
with the language.
24 seconds.
Boucher with the penalty there. Checking from behind, so the Vitos are going to be switching to penalty killing now, and the Eagles will try to catch up. 13 minutes and 20 seconds left in this 3rd period. The Vitos, with a strong 3rd, as they had against Stoney Plain earlier, have come back to take the lead, and they lead Stoney Plain now 4-2.
Puck jumped out over the blue line, and Timmy Peel made the call there on the offside, close offside in front of the Vitos bench.
Okay, we'll go downstairs once again, and Larry Somerville. Larry? I guess we don't have Larry at this moment. We thought we did. Hopefully we can tune up with him again. Face-off just outside the Vitos blue line. And dumped down in behind the Stoney Plain net. Gord Mark up along the wing. Broken up by St. John. Offside is waved off. Here's Wildeboer in behind the St. John net. Wildeboer still with the puck. Puts it in behind the net for Dave McDonald. Dave McDonald puts it back to the point. Gord Mark can't hold on to the pass and loses it. Ron Gaudette breaks that one up. Here's Gaudette and McGregor. A shot. McGregor with the save. Puck out in front. Everyone is down. And it stays out of the net.
Have another look at that. Gaudette jumped on a loose puck. Got in on McGregor, who made a nice save. Rebound came right back up and out in front, and it was covered up with the help of the Stoney Plain defenseman. Another angle of that. Gaudette knocking the puck off of the stick of Gord Mark. Good hard shot. McGregor slid under him.
Bob Brown and Blair McPherson both almost put the puck in the net there for St. John. They're both in there. Luckily the puck stayed out for Stoney Plain's sake, and the crowd getting into it now. They're doing the wave, or they're trying to anyway.
St. John really not out of the woods yet with 12:35 to go. If Stoney Plain was to happen to get a power play goal here, that would put them right back in it. So they have to be exceptionally careful here.
Exceptionally carefully?
Exceptionally careful. Yes.
Across the blue line, that's called on the outside.
I'm definitely going to lose my job here.
12 minutes and 24 seconds as we look at Darwin Bozak of Stoney Plain. The Vitos with 48 seconds left in their penalty. The Eagles really haven't been able to muster much out of this power play.
Any ratings in yet, Andrew?
It's rating period actually in the radio world, but no, we're doing fine. Face-off just outside the St. John blue line. Zimmel and Hatfield. The Eagles win the face-off.
Starting to fire up this wave now.
They've got the wave going now in the crowd, as we can see right there. Here's Hatfield, a shot on goal, doesn't quite get through. Stony Plain comes out, Gord Mark. Up along the wing for Maltese. Maltese is checked by Cloutier. Now Hatfield comes out for the Vitos, up for Warmel. Here's Cloutier. A shot. Glove save, McGregor. Cloutier in there after the play. He is flattened by goaltender McGregor. Maltese wants a piece of him. Cloutier covering up, and Maltese and Stoney Plain angry with that, as Cloutier, following his shot, tried to undo the puck from the glove of Blair McGregor.
Bissonnette and Bozak exchanging pugilistic glances down there behind the Stoney Plain net. Tim Peel.
Can you spell that?
I don't think so, Al.
We're going to see Cloutier shot once again. We'll see Cloutier with the shot on McGregor.
Tim Peel discussing the weather.
18 seconds left. And you'll see Cloutier coming in here late. And Maltese certainly put a jump on Cloutier. Another angle at this play. A nice glove save.
Puck appeared to be off the net, but a nice glove save, and Cloutier pouncing in there, hoping to see a loose puck.
There will be penalties assessed here by Don Gannett because of the skirmishes. Bissonnette will go off, and I expect probably Bozak from Stoney Plain.
I'd be very surprised if either team ended up with a man advantage.
So, as penalties are being assessed here, 11:54 left in the third period. 18 seconds left in a Stoney Plain power play. The Vitos are up 4-2 here. And we'll come right back here on Cable 10. The Vitos up 4-2. There's the wave, ladies and gentlemen. The St. John fans don't do this often here.
Plain.
They'll be coming around to this part
Number
of the
3, Darwin Bozak.
as we listen to the penalties.
St. John, number 3, Eric Bissonnette. 2 minutes each, roughing. St. John, number 18, Patrick Cloutier. 2 minutes, slashing. Time of the penalty, 8 minutes, 6 seconds.
Wrong again. St. John
Stoney
did pick up
Plain.
an extra minor penalty there. Cloutier got 2 minutes for slashing. I didn't see where that occurred unless it was when he was fishing under the Stoney Plain goaltender's hand.
So the Vitos will be shorthanded by 2 men here for at least 18 seconds, and the Eagles will go on a power play. So an opportune time for the Eagles to move closer in this game.
Now a glove has been thrown from the penalty box. Just that the Stoney Plain player had picked up the wrong glove after that skirmish.
A great opportunity for the Eagles
Or he was just
to move closer.
Trying to get the linesman's attention. Kind of a funny way to do it.
Throwing your glove. Could have told the timekeeper could have blew the buzzer. Vitos win the face-off and dump it in. About 10 seconds left. Pat Cloutier with the extra penalty to put the Vitos short-handed again as they break up another play. One of the Michel Boucher's penalty is coming to a close now. Bissonnette and Bozak going off with coincidentals, and Pat Cloutier in there for an extra 2, which will give the Eagles the extra man advantage here for the next minute and a half in the third period. They've got to capitalize here. 11 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third. Blair McGregor fields the puck for Gord Mark in behind the Stoney Plain net. Gord Mark goes up along the wing for Lenmark. Lenmark will shoot it in. Matt tries to field it. Dave McDonald there. He puts it in behind for Wildeboer. Wildeboer out in front of Matt. still with the puck, tied up, and the Vitos clear it.
A nice play by Mike Boyce to lift the Stoney Plain player's stick as he was just about to take a shot on the net.
A minute left in the Vitos penalty to Pat Cloutier. Stoney Plain keeps it in. Gaudette tying his man up. And Huckins comes out, now back to Gaudette. Gaudette puts it ahead to Brown. And Brown will come across. Tries to put a move on his man. Still with the puck and killing valuable time for Stoney Plain as Bob Brown. And the puck is frozen in the Stoney Plain zone.
Nice penalty killing by Bob Brown to get that face-off in the Stoney Plain end. Had thoughts about going in on the Stoney Plain goaltender, but he was muscled off by the defenseman and still picked up the face-off in the Stoney Plain zone with 39 seconds left in that penalty.
And we'll go downstairs right now with Larry Somerville, who's standing by with another interview.
With me is Tom Johnson. Tom, you played 12 years of senior hockey. You've been on 8 all-star teams. You left the game last year with an eye injury. It must be pretty tough watching from the sidelines.
Oh, most definitely. The way that the Vitos treat their hockey players has been a real pleasure playing for them for the last few years. I wanted to play a couple more years to finish off with an Allen Cup ring or whatever it looks like they're going to win. I'm out here cheering on my former teammates and guys that have come in town this year to play hockey this year, and I hope the Vitos luck in the future, but it is real hard sitting around watching the game.
Tom, this year you took over as head coach of the Junior Eagles. It was a challenge for you. How'd you enjoy it?
I really enjoyed it. It was a real good challenge in that. And I say it was a big challenge, and it was real different from playing. I missed playing, definitely, but I had a real good time, and we had a real good, successful year at the first of it, but we kind of faltered a bit. But it's a good boost in your morale in that when you're trying to coach and try to the other part of the game instead of playing it all the time. So I really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Tom. Tom Johnson, one of the stars of the St. John Senior Hockey.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Larry. We saw on the TV screen there a huge crowd, Graham, in front of Dave Matt. The Eagles were trying to put up some screens for Matt as they had a shot from the point, but Matt held on. Again, you see him still down there, and he is against Logan Gus.
Shot from the point was a little bit high. 4 seconds left in the power play now, and Stoney Plain pulling out all stops, trying to get one to get back into this game and get the momentum swung around.
We're halfway through this third period, 9:58 left to play. The Vitos have gone ahead by 2 goals here in the third. They're 9 minutes, 58 seconds away from St. John's first Allen Cup. Michel Bousset facing off. He wins the draw against Neil Eisner, and Huckins clears it down. Vito's penalty is over. They're back at full strength now. 5 aside. Edgar up for Tarasak. Al Tarasak comes across center ice. He is hit by Boucher. Here's Boucher in. Puck just ahead of him. Out front, bouncing dangerously again, and McGregor was covering up, and Boucher was right on his back.
Strong shift by Michel Boucher. He's had a good period. He took a checking from behind penalty. But other than that, he's had a couple of strong shifts, and he's always a spark plug out there, always creating offense, and he's been a great player for the Vitos all year and last year.
Well, the Vitos are up on their feet there on their bench for a moment. They're sitting back down. If you look at Blair McPherson, who certainly is one of the better policemen for the Vitos, would you say? We're going to see another penalty here.
Taking liberties when Blair's out there.
Al Tarasak is going off. 2 minutes. So the Vitos will have a power play chance now. Al Tarasak assessed a 2-minute minor. The crowd says it all here at the LBR. The Vitos up by 2, waiting for a face-off. Remember back less than a week ago, the Vitos came from behind to beat the Stoney Plain club.
Penalty, number 21, Al Tarasak. 2 minutes, unsportsmanlike conduct.
There, they score! Another goal! And that's 3 for Danny LeBlond. He got the pass from the far end over, and he put it in. A hat trick for Dan LeBlond.
That's a three-goal cushion for the Vitos with 9:27 left, and I'd be awfully surprised if Stoney Plain can come back after this.
Well, Stixie, as he is called, Danny LeBlond, with a hat trick here. The Vitos have moved ahead 5-2, 9:22 left. A power play goal, another power play goal for the Vitos. You see the pass coming from across the ice, and LeBlond is there. LeBlond left by himself. Here's another angle.
The game scored by number 52, Dan LeBlond. assist to number 16, Martin Lefebvre, and number 24, Todd Stark.
So Dan LeBlanc with his third goal, assisted by Lefebvre. He's had a great third period. He's got a goal and 2 assists. LeBlanc's had 2 goals and again 1 in the second period. Todd Stark with the other assist. That goal at 10 minutes and 33 seconds. Second Vito's power play goal.
McGregor seemed to be occupied with Todd Stark parked at the lip of the crease, and that gave LeBlanc the opening on the far side of the net. When he got that puck, he buried it.
Linesman Chuck McTagg patching up a piece of ice there at the LBR tonight. 5-2. The Vitos are 9.5 minutes away as we see a fan. They're up in the rafters here. We'll take a quick break on Cable 10 and be back right after this. Back to live action at the LBR, and Mike Boyce clearing the zone for St. John. 9 minutes left. The Vitos. Here's Dan LeBlanc again. He's got 3 tonight. With the puck still, puts it out front. Slap shot from the point. McPherson. That hit another player. It goes back to McPherson again. Another shot from the point. Out front. McGregor's down, and he holds on.
Tremendous pressure being exerted by the St. John Vitos. It's quite obvious they can smell it at this point, and as a few of the fans said in the intermission, Stoney Plain does seem to be running out of gas a little bit. Very similar to the job that Stoney Plain did on Charlottetown in the third last night. They're getting a dose of the same from the Vitos tonight. Totally dominating here. They've scored 4 goals, 4 unanswered goals so far in the third period, and lead the hockey game 5-2.
Play back underway now in Stoney Plain territory, and again it's called an eagle. Sitting on the puck. The goodbye tune that started up here at the LBR. Hey, hey, goodbye. With 8 minutes left to play.
I hope it's not premature. I've seen it happen.
Vitos lead 5-2. Eagles coming out of their zone. Tipped up by McDonald. Shot back in by Cloutier. Bozak in behind his own net. Up along the wing. Puts it up in the center ice. McDonald picks it up. Here's a shot. That one goes wide. Kept in by Wildeboer of Stoney Plain. Wildeboer in behind the net, helped out by McDonald. Dwyer is back there. Cloutier is back there for St. John. They're trying to tie it up. And it's stopped again. More pushing and shoving going on. Bissonnette and Cloutier in the scuffle once again.
There has been some of this extracurricular activity after the whistle so far tonight, but not a lot considering what's on the line and the amount of emotion that both these teams have showed in tonight and in the whole tournament.
Really, they've kept their tempers intact all week long, Graham. Only, again, one fighting major. And that one was called in the first game between Randy Thomas and a member of Charlottetown. And incidentally, we haven't seen Thomas since.
No, Thomas is suffering from damaged knee ligaments and was questionable at the beginning of the tournament. Did get the 1 game in against Charlottetown, but unfortunately for Randy, he was unable to make the lineup the rest of the week.
And this is just great. The fans have come well equipped here tonight, bringing signs and banners. They're all over the place. And this has been on the Vitos' mind since day 1, the Canadian Championship. Bobby Kane now for St. John, up for Boucher. It's broken up, though, by Stoney Plain. Huckins comes across again for St. John. Out front for Warmel. Out front, McGregor down. They're poking away at it, but he covers up.
Great work again by McGregor. They're down 5-2. He's given up all 5, but he certainly hasn't packed his tent like some of the other goaltenders. One in particular, who I won't mention any names, did last night. But he's played a strong game. Stoney Plain basically hanging on, and 7:59 to go. And the Stoney Plain team, you know, had Dartmouth 3-0 in the Hardy Cup a couple of years ago and lost 4-3. So they've seen a certain amount of disappointment in their history.
There's a shot from the point, almost going through. Back into the corner now is Bobby Kane for St. John. He puts it out in behind the net. Boucher has it. Michel Boucher dodging, and Risling comes out of it for Stoney Plain. Up for Tarasak. Tarasak bursts in across the blue line. He puts the move onto Warmel, holds onto the puck, gives it to Risling. Risling puts it out front. It hits Huckins. They're battling for it there. And St. John comes out, tipping it, high sticking it into the crowd.
Donny Gaudette is calling a roughing penalty here.
Against Boucher? Michel Boucher, unpredictably so, is one of the tamer players on the team, although as the season went on, He has became more and more aggressive, and he'll set off for 2. We'll see Boucher here punching Risling right in the head, so I guess a deserving penalty on Boucher's behalf.
Retaliatory penalties, most referees will call them.
7 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third period. The Vitos lead 5-2.
Penalty number 77, Michel Boucher. 2 minutes roughing. Time of the penalty, 12 minutes, 30 seconds.
So a roughing penalty for Boucher. He's had 2 penalties this period. Stoney Plain will try to draw a bit closer, although it's difficult with 7 minutes left, trailing by 3.
This would certainly be Stoney Plain's one of their last chances to get back into this hockey game with just a little under 7.5 minutes to go. They're down 3, and if they don't get one here, the fat lady could be tuning up.
And what an impact some of the players have had on the Vitos this year, especially guys like LeBlanc and Lefebvre. Out in front of the net is Noyes. He tries to wrap it around unsuccessfully, and Todd Stark picks it up for the Vitos. He's got Dan LeBlanc with him. Stark wants to kill a penalty here. 1 minute and 30 seconds left. McKenzie ties up Noyes. And we're going to see coincidental minors for roughing going on here. Gaudette issuing a minor to McKenzie and also David Noyes of Stoney Plain. McKenzie doing his job. Stark wanted to kill a penalty. McKenzie tying up his man who was trying to shake Stark loose of the puck. Minute and 35 seconds left in this third period. Again, the St. John Vitos can taste it. Can taste victory here in the third. They lead Stoney Plain by 3. The onlookers down by the Vitos walkway. They're very quiet, but we know what's on their mind.
Please, to Stoney Plain, number 17, Dave Noyes. St. John, number 2, Scott McKenzie. 2 minutes each, roughing.
Nice catch by the
Time of the penalties,
Puck went in there.
12 minutes, 55 seconds.
Well, softball player David Brewer making a nice catch, I believe that is.
Look like they're enjoying themselves tonight. There's another nice pan shot of the crowd here at the LBR. They're lined up 2 or 3 deep. Every seat is filled in this place. Among the attendees tonight, St. John Mayor Elsie Wayne, New Brunswick Premier Frank McKenna, here to catch the action at the LBR. Face-off to the right of Dave Matt. The Vitos win the draw, and Boyce drives it around the boards. Kept in by the Eagles. They're trying to clear, and they do. Len Mark, he's got 2 goals. Gives it to Wildeboer. Goes across for Bozak. Bozak back for McDonald. McDonald over for Mark. Eagles trying to keep it in, trying to find some way of giving themselves some more life in this hockey game. Here's a shot from Mark, a weak one. He didn't get much on that, but still Stoney Plain keeps control. Another shot by Mark and blocked by Dan LeBlanc. Dan LeBlanc, certainly the MVP of this hockey game so far. He's got 3 goals, a good defensive play there. Puck again into Vitos territory. Eagles trying to keep it in. McDonald again for Mark, and Mark didn't hustle and couldn't get over to the puck in time. Lenmark now with the puck. Across the blue line, and Warmel dumps it out again. 6 minutes left, 30 seconds left in the Vitos penalty.
Big Gordmark couldn't quite get to that puck, and he's showing some signs of wear.
He certainly logged a lot of ice time out there for Stoney Plain, as much as anyone on the hockey team, to be sure. And he was certainly, as he was named, an all-star defenseman at the Allen Cup banquet, rather, that was held on Thursday evening at Vito's Restaurant uptown.
There's our mayor.
Seem to be enjoying yourself tonight. Hatfield wins the draw for St. John. Picked up, though, by Eisner. Eisner puts it in. Into the corner. Pat Cloutier. Kept in by Stoney Plain. Again, back to Cloutier in the corner. Can't get rid of it. It's onto the stick of Ron Hatfield, and he does. Michel Boucher waiting under the penalty box. A shot from far out. Goes wide and high past the glove of Blair McGregor. In behind the net. Out front for Ronnie Hatfield. He kept in by Pat Cloutier. Now Warmel in behind the net. Picked up by a Stoney Plain player. Kept in, though, by Bissonette. It goes wide. Cloutier pitching in. A shot. And McGregor with the stop. 5:05 left in the third. The Vitos still lead by 3. Blair McGregor, despite being scored on 5 times, has played well for Stoney Plain.
Especially in the early going. This game was 2-1 Stoney Plain entering this period. And a wave of St. John Vitos have put the game pretty well out of reach.
Bobby Brown with a shot there. Dwyer tried there for the rebound. Couldn't quite get a hold of it. And Brown with the puck again, dumping it in the corner. Stoney Plain coming out. And that's McKenzie. Over for Huckins, and he was upended. And a Stoney Plain player was just decked. I believe by Mike Dwyer. Did the decking. Most likely you'll see some more penalties being assessed here. 4-4s left in this game. 4:44 in the third. And the Vitos still lead by 3.
Mike Dwyer handing us this broken stick to a fan.
Roughing penalty to number 17, David Noyes.
I think Noyes was the one that took the run at Dwyer there, Andrew.
Nonetheless, St. John could have a power play. And we will have coincidental minors here in the third. Mike Dwyer and David Noyes going in. There's going to be another penalty assessed here.
McKenzie got a stick up on the Stoney Plain player along the right wing.
Another penalty against the St. John Vitos. Maillet takes his man down. Things are getting a bit interesting here. Kane is into somebody. And there's going to be more penalties assessed here, to be sure. Maillet and Kane becoming involved.
Maillet's
not a happy camper.
I don't know whether Mark did something to Maillet or not, but certainly Mark hasn't impressed us as the type of player to now McKenzie getting his gloves off. He's going to go at it with number 16, I believe. This is a little unfortunate, but fans seem to be enjoying it, as they always do. McKenzie getting in some lefts.
No question there. Viewers have a very good view of this, thanks to our good work from the cameraman.
Peel and McTagg getting in.
So Scott McKenzie will be done for the rest of this third period. 4:27 left. Fighting Majors will be assessed to McKenzie and Bob Bijushko of Stoney Plain. Only the second Fighting Major that will be assessed. And the fans give Scott McKenzie.
Interesting to see what the penalties are here. St. John was getting the initial penalty on Scott McKenzie for high sticking. Then Maillet jumped Mark, and then the fight broke out between Bijushko and we'll have a look at that, see how the whole thing started with that first penalty, I think, to McKenzie along the boards. There's Gaudette with his arm up. Maillet gives Mark a crack. And now Gaudette will try and sort this mess out. Here's another angle of it. Oh, that was Maillet who took Mark down. That was the original penalty. That'll be at least 2 more for roughing.
So it'll be interesting to see how things progress here as the penalties are being assessed by referee-in-chief Don Gaudette. Have a couple of moments to take a look at things. Randy Thomas having some words with some of the folks. And while referee-in-chief Don Gaudette assesses the penalties from this minor skirmish, we'll take this break at Cable 10 and come right back to you. net still assessing penalties here in the third period. As you look at the clock, 4:27 left. Unfortunate incident there. Of course, Maye will certainly be sitting out. And McKenzie and Bajushko will be gone. The crowd is hovering around the penalty box area. Captain Mike Zimmel down there for Stoney Plain, and Bobby Kane is there along with Todd Stark. Kane an assistant captain, of course. Stark the captain of the Vitos.
Kind of unfortunate that this had to break out, but here are the penalties.
16, Bob Bazushko. 5 minutes fighting. Game misconduct. St. John number 2, Scott McKenzie. 2 minutes high sticking. 5 minutes fighting. Game misconduct. St. John number 35, Sylvain Maye. 2 minutes roughing. Time of the penalties, 15 minutes, 33 seconds.
I believe St. John will end up 2 men short for 2 minutes.
So all this happening at the 15:33 marker of the third period. The Vitos up 5-2, and it gives everyone really a chance to sit back and take a look at things as the fans have sat down and calmed themselves down. The Vitos have calmed themselves down for the moment at least, and players getting set to play hockey again. Blair Nicholson's going to be a happy guy right now. Basically a rookie of Brad Schultz, as you can tell from the look on his face. He is not too pleased.
Well, his club down 5-2. They've come a long way. They dropped the first 2 games in the tournament, and it didn't look too rosy for them at the first of the week, but they came back with a win, got themselves into the semifinal, beat Charlottetown last night with a strong third period, but unfortunately came up a little short here tonight.
So we're getting back to hockey here at the LBR. A temporary interlude, of course, brought to you by Sylvain Maye and Scott McKenzie, along with Bob Bajushko and a couple other Stoney Plain players. They're still sorting out the penalties, but we're almost set to get back underway. While we do have this chance, we will run down quickly the scoring. Len Mark opened up the scoring for Stoney Plain at 18:09 of the first. It was 1-0 Eagles after 1. Then in the second period, Dan LeBlanc at 8:46, Scott McKenzie and Phil Huckins made it 1-1. Len Mark scored again for Stoney Plain at 9:16, just 30 seconds later, to make it 2-1 Stoney Plain after 2. In the third period, all St. John. Martin Lefebvre, a power play at 43 seconds. Bobby Brown, 4:54, his goal was scored, with the Vitos ahead. And then Dan LeBlanc with his second and third, 5:04, and then at 10:33. That is how the game stands right now. The Vitos lead Stoney Plain 5-2 with 4:27 left to play, and the Vitos will be shorthanded as well for 2 minutes.
There's the other minor penalty coming up there now. It was basically a major for each team, and St. John 2 minors, so I don't know what the holdup was. It was quite obvious that St. John was going to be 2 men short for 2 minutes with the extra minor to Maye as well as the extra minor to McKenzie. So if Stoney Plain was to get one early, they'd still be on the power play. We'll have to see what happens.
So a 5-on-3 here for 2 minutes, and here's Gord Mark moving in on Matt over. A shot blocked before it got to Dave Matt. Eisner out with the puck now for Stoney Plain. Puts it out front for Risling. A save by Matt. A nice leg save, and he covers up.
That was a great save by Dave Matt. Again, that line of Risling, Eisner, and Terazak doing all the work along the boards, getting a good scoring chance in front, but Matt stoned them.
A minute 44 left in Stoney Plain's 2-man advantage here. Eagles win the draw. Bozak, one-timer. Mark with the shot, hit another stick and bounced over the net. Risling with the puck now for Stoney Plain, over for Bozak. Darwin Bozak holding on. Stark is forechecking. Here's Bozak again with the puck, being pressured by Stark. Here's a shot, a weak one, hit Huckins and bounced into the corner. Tarasak in to pick it up for Stoney Plain, meant for Risling. He fumbled on it, and the Vitos clear the zone.
McPherson having to look after 2 Stoney Plain players in front of the net, did a nice job on them, and then got the puck and cleared it down the ice.
The Vitos are 3 minutes and 35 seconds away from National Senior Hockey glory. It will be the first Allen Cup if they win for St. John. Second Senior Hockey Championship for the Port City. The 73 Mooseheads doing it back in 73, winning the Hardy Cup. Here's Gord Mark. Tarasak, a shot. Matt the save. Tarasak holding on with the puck again. In behind the net is Al Tarasak across for Bozak. To Mark. Mark to Bozak. Bozak with the puck now. Over for Tarasak. Tarasak in the corner. He puts it in behind from Dave McDonald, who puts it around. Again on the point for Darwin Bozak. Stark, Boyce, and Kluche out there. Here's Tarasak. Blocked by Kluche. Back to the point, Bozak. Eagles applying pressure. Dave McDonald with the puck now out in front. Bozak can't find it. Covered up by Kluche. He pushes it ahead. And that causes a stoppage of play, and there'll be a face-off to the right of Dave Matt. The fans showing their appreciation here.
Kluche covered that puck with his hand. Donnie got that right there. Chose not to give Kluche a penalty. Certainly dropped on that puck, and
again, excitement in the air at the LBR. 2 minutes and 48 seconds away. There's Pat Cloutier being congratulated by trainer Bobby Maloney.
Bobby's been around a long time, been down the road with many of the St. John senior teams, and it's nice to see Bobby get some success this year. Matt very slow to get up.
If he can hold on for 2:48, he's certainly earned his keep in St. John this year. No question about that. Matt has had all kinds of success winning Canadian championships. He did it in Newfoundland. He did it in Charlottetown. And he's 2 minutes and 48 seconds away from doing it in St. John. Face off to the right of Matt. Chuck McTagg getting set to drop the puck. Ron Hatfield is there taking it for the Vitos. It'll be Len Mark for Stoney Plain. 21 seconds left in the Stoney Plain two-man advantage. Mark wins the draw. Over for Wildeboer. Paradis puts it over from Mark, who's still on the ice. Puts a nice move on. Vito's pressuring. Shot by Wildeboer. Goes wide. And behind the net, Len Mark. Dave McDonald kept in by Mark. A shot to the side of the net. Here's Len Mark. A shot on Dave Matt, and Dave Matt is there with the save.
Dave Matt just playing outstanding hockey here in the third period. Slamming the door time and time again in this two-man advantage.
Outstanding play, pressure play by Dave Matt. He's obviously in pain here. 2.5 minutes left in the hockey game. 3 seconds left in the Vitos penalties. We'll have 2 men on in 3 seconds. So this will be interesting to look at. Vitos win this one and they clear the zone. Huckins shoots it down the ice, and Kane and Maya are on the ice again for St. John. .225 left. A lot of whistles here in the final minutes of this hockey game. Vito's still holding on to their 3-goal lead. Before the hockey game, Graham, down interviewing Blair Nicholson, the Vitos had the music just pounding. They were confident. They were happy. They were chopping around. They certainly are having a good time out here. Of course, you wouldn't know that after 2 periods, but they've really turned it up here in the third period. And that man right there taking the face-off deserves a lot of credit, Dan LeBlanc. Sylvain Maillet gets it out for St. John. Lefebvre is on. He has a goal and 2 assists in this third period. Vitos obviously will be playing defensively as Maillet comes out now for the Vitos. LeBlanc, and LeBlanc goes across to Martin Lefebvre. Puts it over out in front for Cloutier. They're down, they score! Pat Cloutier!
Cloutier always enjoying a goal, as he is again here tonight.
Cloutier has put the Vitos up by 4, 2:04 left to play.
Play started in the St. John end. Matt got it around the boards. LeBlanc to Lefebvre. And Lefebvre with a nice pass to Cloutier, breaking down the left side. And a low backhand shot past McGregor.
And we're going to see another view of this goal as well.
Nice goal. Nice effort by Cloutier. St. John is basically just taking care of business. They've only given up 9 goals in the 4 games against
18
in the 4 games of the tournament, and defense and a liberal amount of offense in this game have done it for them.
And number 52, Dan LeBlanc. Time of the goal, 17 minutes, 56 seconds.
So less than 2 minutes to play here in the third period. 1 minute and 40, in fact. That putt, the net off the moorings. The Vitos have sewed up the Allen Cup, barring any tragedies here at the LBR tonight. 1 minute and 38 seconds to play They lead by 4. Celebrations will begin in a minute and 38.
Don't see too many people leaving, even though it's a 4-goal lead with a minute and 38. The fans are going to stay around and soak this up.
We'll soak it up too right here on Funday Cable. Post-game festivities going on. There'll be the presentation of the Allen Cup by Tim Gillies, Senior Director of the CAHA for Senior Hockey. The goodbye song again at the LBR. A minute and 30 left. The Vitos playing dump and go right now, and that is called on the icing. Certainly, a lot of people deserve credit for putting this fantastic tournament on. Of course, the Allen Cup Committee, which was run by Pat Palmer and Carl White, did an outstanding job. All of the major sponsors that were involved and the silver level sponsors as well did an outstanding job. And all the volunteers are to be given top notch for their work in the past week. They put this together for a long time, almost a year, in fact, and it's certainly paying off. And how better to pay off an Allen Cup tournament with a Canadian Championship in the hometown.
Let's just hope when they sit down next week or the week after and do the tallying that everything comes up on the black side. It was a very expensive tournament to put on. I think well over $100,000, and the crowd tonight, I'm certainly, is going to put them over the top.
We just got the announcement. Final minute of play in the third period here. 54 seconds left to play. The St. John fans, I don't think one of them has left the rink here. Still applying pressure. Ron Gannett in behind the net. Put back to Gannett in the corner. Paradis tying him up. That'll be whistled down with 40 seconds left. Again, I think the people of St. John deserve a round of applause as well. They have supported this tournament well, Graham.
Now they're starting to stand. They're giving the Vitos a standing ovation. By the looks of things, there's some of them behind the Vitos bench are beginning to stand. Over on the opposite side, behind the penalty box, a few more people standing.
The fans are on their feet here at the LBR. An outstanding showing for the St. John Vitos in this final game, and that sums it up right there. For that child, Vitos are number 1, and the fans in this rink surely think so. Stoney Plains, one last rush. Sylvain Maillet with the puck. Ties his man up, heavily into the boards. Bill Huckins with the puck now. He goes over to Bob Kane, who's on the ice, who's been with St. John Senior Hockey since Nick and Peter Georgoutis have taken over the team. A native of Nakawik, who played with Amherst. Here's a shot and glove by Blair McGregor. 13 seconds left to play now. And it's all over for the crowd.
Well, I guess the number 13 sums up Stoney Plains' evening. They played 2 pretty good periods, but the Vitos, they just didn't quite have enough to match it up with the Vitos in the third period. 5 unanswered goals in the third period.
This will be 3 Allen Cup rings for a couple members of the St. John Vitos. Todd Stark for 1, and as we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, David Matt.
Those are the type of the players that get you to the top of the mountain, guys that have been there before and know what it's like to win a major championship.
Here's the countdown. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And National Hockey glory to the St. John Vitos. They've won the Allen Cup.
Let our pictures tell the story.
By St. John 24, by Stoney Plains 11. Shots on goal, Stoney Plains 11, St. John 24.
Got to give a lot of credit to Dave Matt there. 47 shots by Stoney Plains. Dave Matt stopped 45 shots in this hockey game, and Blair McGregor stopped 43 as the players are on the ice shaking hands It's been a wonderful Allen Cup tournament here at the LBR. There's Nick, and he's got to be a happy man. Nick and Peter Georgudis deserving a lot of the credit, much of the credit here. They're happy men. That was their goal, to bring a Canadian
St.
senior
John
hockey
Vitos would
championship.
like to thank you, the fans, for your support for the Allen Cup tournament. Thank you very much.
There's the Georgudis brothers, and I think this championship certainly has to help their blood pressure a little bit. I talked to Nick at the end of the second period. He was very nervous, and I'm sure he'll be able to relax in the coming weeks, and knowing that he's brought a national championship to this great city.
We're not going anywhere on Cable 10. The Vitos chant at the LBR continues. It's the first national championship for many of the St. John Vitos. In fact, the first taste of national competition for many of them, I'm sure. Dan LeBlanc, number 52, no doubt he'll be given the MVP award for St. John. 3 goals today, an assist to lead the Vitos. And their come-from-behind win over Stoney Plain, Alberta, to win the Allen Cup tonight, 6-2.
For the Allen Cup champions, the St. John Vitos!
General Manager Neil McKenzie. Neil's put a lot of work and time into this team. Randy Thomas and some of the other players that couldn't make the lineup tonight due to injury or through numbers. But I'm certainly sure that they're enjoying this just as much as the players that get on the ice tonight. There's Mark Farwell. Mark is a key player all through the year. You know, the Vitos had tremendous depth all through the year, and players like Farwell, Danny O'Brien, Mike Clark, some of the others that, again, because of the numbers game, couldn't get into the lineup, whether it be through the playoffs or through the tournament, but they're just as much a part of this team as the guys that put the skates on. Getting ready now for the presentation of the Allen Cup at center ice. Coach Blair Nicholson, Dave Wright, there's Brian Ford, the 3 coaches who did a terrific job all through the year. A great championship for the St. John Vitos. Nick's first year, the Georgudis brothers' first year, they won the New Brunswick Championship, went on to play Dartmouth in the Maritime Championship on the way to the Hardy Cup, were unsuccessful, and made the final one year, were eliminated in the semifinals the following 2 years, but the Georgudis brothers, the management and coaches went into this year with one thing in mind, hosting the tournament and bringing home the championship, and that's exactly what they've done. At Kluche, the 6th goal for the St. John Vitos. Todd Stark, terrific game, terrific season, terrific gentleman, I might add. We're just about ready for the presentation at center ice. Mayor Elsie Wayne, popular as always. There comes Tim Gillies carrying the Allen Cup. Here's Andrew to give me a rest.
Thank you very much. We'll pass things on to MC Ingham Palmer downstairs.
To present the game MVP to both teams. First off, to the Stoney Plain Eagles. The MVP of this game is number 8, Glenn Mark. And to the St. John Vitos. The MVP for this game is Stixie LeBlanc. Something, folks, I should mention. The Allen Cup victory here tonight, the first for New Brunswick since 1933-34. Now, my pleasure to call on Carl White, the vice chairman of the tournament, to present the prize for the top scorer over the tournament. And that prize goes to Stoney Plains, number 8, Lynn Mark. Now my pleasure to call on Ronnie Clark. He's the senior branch rep for the New Brunswick Amateur Hockey Association. His task tonight is to present the trophy to the most gentlemanly player of the tournament. And it goes to, from the St. John Vitos, number 24, Todd Stark. Now, Mr. Mike McDonald, representing Canada Post, one of the tournament sponsors, to present the trophy to the tournament MVP. That trophy goes to Vito's goaltender, Dave Mack. Now we'll call on Mike McGraw. He's been the Allen Cup Awards chairman and presenting the runner-up awards to the Stoney Plain Eagles. General chairman presenting the championship awards to the St. John Vitos. First to Dan LeBlanc, Ronnie Hatfield, Eric Vizinac, Martin Lefebvre, Pat Cloutier, Michel Boucher, Tony Wormel, Bobby Kane, Mike Dwyer, Scott McKenzie, Ronnie Goodette Jr., Randy Thomas, Sylvain Maillet, John Stark, Bobby Brown, Blair McPherson, Now, folks, what it is all about, the Allen Cup. Tim Gillies, Chairman of the Canadian Amateur Hockey Association Senior Hockey Council. Starkey, come to the honor, Starkey.
Okay, folks, there it is, as Graham put it. Pretty fine-looking piece of machinery, Graham. It's the Allen Cup, and there are the St. John Vitos celebrating that Allen Cup right now. Graham, your final words.
Well, they're going through a tradition I believe was started by the Edmonton Oilers back in the mid-'80s when they were winning all their cups, and this is certainly a great, great championship for the Jorgudis brothers, all the players, and certainly the fans of St. John. I was involved myself beginning in 1983. We were never quite fortunate enough to win a championship, but I know how the Jorgudis brothers and all the rest of them feel. A tremendous tip of the hat to them. They played great hockey. They went on a 15 win out of 16 roll in the playoffs or something similar to that, and did what they had to do, got the job done, and again, I can't say enough, a great championship for everyone involved.
Okay, let the celebration begin. The Vitos are heading off to celebrate in the dressing room. That's where we will be in just a moment. We'll be down in the dressing room in just a moment, Graham. It's been a pleasure having you once again. Fine job again, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, Andrew. It was certainly my pleasure to be here, and nice to be a part of the Allen Cup, to be here in the stands. I missed the 73 Hardy Cup, but a great pleasure to be here working with you and all the fine folks at Fundy Cable. Thank you very much.
My thanks as well to the folks at Fundy Cable. We'll be downstairs, myself and Larry Somerville, to do some talking and some celebrating with the St. John Vitos right after this.
Dave Matt, MVP of the Allen Cup. Dave, start of the season, Todd Stark told me you were the best goaltender in Canada. I think you've just proved it.
Well, I didn't prove it. My defense proved it. Phil Hawkins played great. I just said you. and well, the whole team played great. Boy, what a third period they played. 5 goals against a team like that. That's the best team we played. Well, the Islanders were super too. So it's just a nice ending to this year. It's also a career.
This is your third Allen Cup win. Is the third one as sweet as the first two?
Oh, for sure. They get sweeter every time, boy. A lot sweeter.
Excellent job. Dave Matt, the MVP for the Allen Cup.
Stark, got to be a tremendous feeling. For you, it's number 3, but this must be as sweet as the first.
No question about it. Each time it's special in its own way because you're doing it with a different group of guys. What we've accomplished here, we've pulled together as a team and a family. We've done something together that will bond us now for a lifetime because we'll put rings on our fingers, and every time you look at those rings, they'll bring back some fond memories of a great bunch of guys that pulled together and worked hard together for 7 months, and finally this is the payoff, and it does taste pretty damn sweet. The first one I won with Dave Matt, and now this is his third and my third, and really, it's a fantastic feeling. I can't say enough about it.
Outstanding, and you came from behind to win the hockey game. What happened here after the second period? You were trailing by 1, and you just came out and blew the hockey team away in the third.
I think, we didn't really play vintage Vitos hockey for the first 2 periods. I think we were probably feeling a bit of pressure. There's no question that we were the favorite team out there, and there was a lot of pressure on us to win. Certainly at home, we had the fans to try and please, and really all the province of New Brunswick. So maybe we were feeling a bit of pressure out there. Certainly the work ethic was there and the determination. You could tell the team wanted to do it, but the discipline wasn't really there for the first 2 periods. We came in here in between the second and third period. One thing we stressed was discipline. The other thing was team. We want to do this as a team. And certainly we came out in the third period. We rallied behind Dave Matt's fine goaltending, and I can't say enough about the 25 guys that did it, and the owners and the coaches and the management. Everyone affiliated with this team has just done a fantastic job all year long, and certainly they deserve it. It's been a long time coming here in St. John.
Todd, congratulations.
Thanks, Andy.
You deserve it. Todd Stark, Vito's captain.
Mike Dwyer, you set out a few games. You came back tonight. You played great. Must be a big win.
It's a beautiful game to come back to the championship and win it. It's even a little sweeter. Everybody played well, teamwork. We barreled down a little bit in the third. We came out, we hit, we knew what we had to do, and puck went in the net. Guys had a good game.
There'll be a little bit of celebrating going on tonight.
Probably for next week, I imagine.
Mike Dwyer, a big part of the St. John Vito. Blair McPherson, rugged defenseman. It must be worth the trip down here for Fredericton.
Oh, it certainly is. We've had some long hauls there all season and back and forth. They're Tuesday, Thursday nights every week. It's been a long haul, but by gee, she's worth it now. By gee, we got her, baby.
Congratulations.
Woo! Hey! Oh! Get it like that. You're supposed to be wet. Oh, the for it, isn't it? Hey. Oh!
I love you, babe.
You're sweet.
Hey, you love everybody.
Big win.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
Thanks, Rand. I think you set him up to that big win tonight. You got the bad knee, but you had a great season.
I think, I'm just happy that all the guys pulled through and all came together. And finally, it's a reality instead of a possibility. I have,
A few years in the senior hockey league, but now, it's time to relax, rest and relax. Now,
Bobby Kane, really the banner behind you, says it all. You've been with senior hockey in St. John quite a few years. This has got to be just an outstanding feeling.
It's hard to explain, Andrew. It's the best feeling in the world.
What did you think after the second period?
Well, it didn't look good. We knew we were tiring them out. We just had to keep on working hard. We worked hard all game. We knew the breaks were going to come, and the breaks did come.
Must have been frustrating the past few years when you thought you might go all the way, you thought you had the team to do it, and things didn't turn out. Absolutely, this has got to make it all worthwhile.
Oh, we've had our chances over the years, but this makes up for everything.
Good, Bobby Kane. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Andrew.
Dan LeBlanc, the game MVP, 3 goals and 1 assist. Got to be a super feeling for you.
Yeah, I think it's a big feeling for me. Like I told myself before the game, like I had to play one of the best games of my life. Maybe it's gonna be my last game. Like you never know if next year I'm gonna play or not. I never think about the future. I always think now. And I said today is the 25th. It's a big game for everybody. Big game for St. John. Big game for the crowd. For Nick, Pete, who work hard out here. And I said. We have to win, so I just went out there, tried my best, work hard, 125% every shift, and I was lucky. Like I had my chances and I didn't miss it tonight.
You did it into. Is this your first Canadian championship?
Yeah, it's my first Canadian championship. I was in Europe last year. I played there. I had my chance, but we lost in final, and I said this year I don't want to lose it.
The Vitos all tournament. I mean, they've come from behind quite a bit, especially against this Alberta team. It really certainly speaks a lot for the toughness of this hockey club. You were down earlier in the week, 1-0. You were down a goal heading into the third. It really speaks for the teamwork of this hockey club.
Yeah, but all the team know, like everybody in our head. Like I think at home we lost only one, and we won about 22 games. So with only one loss. Everybody was saying between the second and the third. Everybody know here we can come back and work hard together. It's not one guy who's gonna win the game tonight. We have to pull all together. 25, 26 players, I don't know, but we all pull together and we win together as a team, and I'm very proud about it.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Ryan Hatfield, you must be a little bit happy. This is a little bit better feeling than trying to run a junior hockey league.
Hey, I run that league. I breed silkworms out in Hatfield Point. Ran that league so smooth. President of the New Brunswick Junior Hockey League.
Big feeling tonight.
Yes, very big feeling. 4,000 people in the rink. There's no better. Doesn't get any better than this. Believe me.
Larry Nicholson, your debut as head coach this year. You came out a winner. It must be all worth it.
Was 7 months of hard work. The boys really did a great job.